Is it that time? Is it that time? It looks like we're live. So hang on 1 second, ladies and gents. Before we get into anything, I'm going to send this out. We're going to send it out. We're going to send this stream out. We're going to send this stream out on all platforms of social media. Give me just one little second. Give me just one second. There we go. I got the chat right here. Let me... Oh, we got one person watching. Hey, Kobe! Kobe talks about wrestling. How are you? We're going to get it started in just a little bit. Please hit that like button if you haven't already done so. I'm going to introduce my guest in just a little bit. Let me just tweet that out, which I just did. Let me promote this on Facebook as well. We got 2 people watching so far. We're going to start in just a little bit. We will start in just a little bit. Let me do this. There we go. And let me just promote this to my group chats. Because of course I got it. I got to tell them. So let me send that. That's one. What's going on? Nathan the Great. We got 4 people watching. We're going to get started in just a little bit. We're just going to get started in just a little bit. First things first, I got to promote. What's going on? Kenny Movie Reviews. I have a feeling I know who that is. I have a feeling that's my buddy Matt from work. How you doing? I'm almost done here promoting, and then we're going to get straight into the festivities here. Please hit that like button if you haven't already done so. We got a huge show ahead of us. All right. I think it's time that we do the oh-so-famous intro. Ready for this? I got my sunglasses, I got my Young Bucks t-shirt on. So that must mean that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storm. And I'd like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com. As, of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known. Wait for it. To mankind, and this is the Lightning Flash update for Saturday, August 22nd, 2020, and we got a lot of stuff to talk about here, ladies and gentlemen. Here's what I want you guys to do. If you haven't already done so, please hit the like button and share the stream out on all platforms of social media. But as you can see, I am not alone. Because today, for the Lightning Flash update, I got with me one of the biggest supporters of the DJ Storms brand. I have got with me one of my best friends, loyal DJ Storms posse member, and a lifelong wrestling fan. Please help me welcome Mr. Earl Cole. How are you, my friend?
Good afternoon, DJ Storms, and welcome everyone to the YouTube channel. Welcome to the YouTube world. I'm making my debut here today on the Lightning Flash update, our 6th collaboration. Every time that we come together, we always send up the mercury to the highest roof level possible. DJ Storms has been one of those people that you just can't say no to. When he called me a couple of weeks ago to ask me to do this Lightning Flash update, I was very excited. I was very poised and ready to do the show. It is my debut, ladies and gentlemen, on the Lightning Flash update. I'm usually the one listening in, but today I'm going to be part of the show, and I'm looking forward to it. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been around for a long time. I've been a wrestling fan for over 40 years. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I have met so many people in my lifetime as wrestling fans, but I've never met someone like DJ Storms. Kind, loyal, passionate. It's just everything and anything that you want out of him, he gives it to you. And today on the channel, we have a plethora, and I mean a plethora, because we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to say. I have a lot to say. And we're going to have fun today. We're going to have fun today. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty. You know, last night we had the Thunderdome. We're getting SummerSlam. We're getting a lot of things here today. I have some news on Tony Khan that I think you all are going to love, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on what's been happening in the world of wrestling. But I don't have a platform yet, but I will very shortly. You can find me on social media, ladies and gentlemen, through Facebook. Just look me up on Facebook, Earl Cole. Look me up on Facebook. If you want to tweet me, you can tweet me always and follow me on Twitter at WWEEarlC. That's WWE Earl C on Twitter. Or you can follow me on Instagram at EarlC99. That's EarlC99 on Instagram. So you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I'm always around and I'm always available. I'm also an admin on the DJ Storms Posse page on Facebook. You want to become a member, please do so. We would love to welcome all of our members, and we always have a good time. We always have a good time. And this weekend is SummerSlam weekend. I hope everyone will enjoy that. We have NXT TakeOver 30. We have Dynamite. We've got a lot of stuff. We have a lot of wrestling to digest today, DJ Storm. So, again, I want to thank you for inviting me to your show. I look forward to riding the mothership. And let's get into it. Let's see if DJ Storm... I know DJ Storms is going to be hitting a home run today. So, let's swing for the fences. I'm already out of the bullpen, so I'm ready to go.
Thank you very much, Mr. Earl Cole. Pleasure to have you on the show, as per usual. And he already hit the social media links. Now, before we get into the festivities here, we got some news, rumors, and reports to go over before we get into the 4 weekly shows that we're going to talk about. But first things first, before we get into anything, before I'm going to hand the ball over to Earl Cole and he gives his report on Tony Khan, which we're going to talk about, please follow me on Twitter, at HistoryMakerDJS. You will find out why I am the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. Please follow me on Instagram and Periscope. Add me on Facebook as well. And of course, for collaborations and business inquiries, please send me an email. My email is StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook, of course, where Mr. Earl Cole is an admin. I will put all the links in the description after this stream is over. If you guys missed the rundown for TakeOver 30 with TM161 and the rundown for SummerSlam with Jessi Calynn, all of those links are in the description. Please, if you haven't already done so, I don't even realize what are you doing, hit that thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up and share the stream out. We got to get more people in. There's only like 3-4 people in here. Come on. I need you guys to get more people in there, share it out, get some more people in here. We got to spark up the conversation, keep the chat going. And if you haven't already done so, please hit the subscribe button. You got to hit the subscribe button. That way, I can grow. And when you hit the subscribe button, you got to hit the notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is the best time to be on YouTube. It's the only time we're going to get to see this glorious...
Absolutely.
Yeah, there we go. You're going to get to see this glorious sideburn strap combo and this beautiful mustache right here. Hang on just 1 second. I just got to touch it up. I brought my comb with me. I always bring the comb with me. Just got to touch it up. But anyway, we already know that everybody wants a piece of the Stormsmeister. But anyway, we're going to get straight into the festivities here. So I'm going to hand the ball over to Earl Cole. So Earl, what's this report that you got on Tony Khan?
Okay, well, I got 2 reports on Tony Khan. According to Mania 411 website, don't judge my sources.
No, you're good. You're good.
Tony Khan was visibly upset yesterday when Dynamite tickets went on sale. Now, as most of you know, during this pandemic, fans were not allowed to be coming into live wrestling events. Apparently, the AEW announced that Dynamite would start selling tickets again to fans. It's only at 10% capacity, which means it's about 850 tickets, I believe, was on sale. So apparently, the tickets went on sale and the tickets were sold out. Apparently, what was happening is that some of the fans started to complain that they did not get their seats. Now, these seats are not individual seats. These are group seats. These are just the group seats. And how they sold them is that you had to have a group of 4 or more. And you cannot be an individual buying the tickets. That's not how it worked. So apparently, when the tickets were sold out, somebody on the second market, which probably is StubHub, tried to sell the tickets individually. And apparently AEW management found this out, and they were visibly upset, especially a tweet to all the fans who had bought the tickets and said, if you take the tickets and you tried to sell them individually, your order would have been canceled.
Ooh.
You do not want anyone to sell the tickets individually. It's got to be a group effort buying, because this is the way they have it. It's called a block ticket system, which means if you have a group of 4, that is your group. You have to stay within that group because you have to get tested. You have to get your temperature checked. You got to wear a mask and everything else. So this is the way that they wanted to set it up. So apparently somebody took those tickets and they were selling it individually online. So I read the tweet, and I agree with it. I mean, if you know that you're not being sold individually, then why would you go ahead and try to take it on the open market and try to sell it individually?
I have absolutely no idea. I'm not sure what the motto is behind that, but when it comes to that type of scenario, especially during a time like this, like you're pretty much putting yourself and others at risk when you do that. So during a time like this, there's really no need for that.
No, there isn't, and I agree with Tony Khan. I don't blame him for being upset, because the tickets did sell out, and this is for the live Dynamite on the 27th of August, and only 10% of the fans will be allowed inside, but you have to be in a group, and you can't be an individual. So I agree with with what he said in the tweet. I agree with it. So if you have tickets for the Dynamite for the 27th, make sure you come as a group. And you're not coming as an individual because your ticket order will be canceled.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, especially during the period that we're in right now. And I would assume that slowly but surely we're going to start easing back into the normalcy. I mean, I'm glad that we got 10 to 15%. That's certainly better than nothing. Thank you for sharing me out, Leo. Leo just came into the stream. Thank you very much. But it's yeah, welcome aboard, Leo. It's a shaky situation. It really is a shaky situation, especially with the Thunderdome. I guarantee that the Thunderdome's also going to be a little shaky as the weeks go on, if it is going to be a permanent staple. We'll talk about the Thunderdome when we get to SmackDown. But anything else you want to add about the Tony Khan incident? We're actually going to move on to the set newsrooms and reports.
Actually, no. The only thing is that Tony Khan was saying that he was talking about. He also talked about his finishes in AEW. Don't look for any more. Don't look for him to do disqualification matches. He doesn't believe in disqualification. He believes in, clean finishes.
Good.
And he says that, disqualification in matches just doesn't fit in his playbook. And he said he'll do it once in a while, but don't look for it often.
Good. I'm happy about that. But anyway, as far as that goes, what's going on? Ruben Day, how you doing? We got 7 people watching so far. Please hit the like button if you haven't already done so. Thank you very much. So, we're going to move on to our scheduled news, rumors, and reports. Earl Cole, thank you for the update on Tony Khan. I actually saw that on Twitter. It's a shaky situation on Twitter as it is. But we're going to move on to we're going to move on to our scheduled news, rumors, and reports. So the first one I got is apparently a report claiming that Vince is not in control with NXT counter-programming All Elite Wrestling, which is complete bullshit. So, here's what was said. During Wrestling Observer Live, Brian Alvarez discussed NXT's recent moves and some fan complaints about AEW's product as well. He stated that not every move that NXT makes involves Vince McMahon. Yeah, maybe I would have believed that if this was before WrestleMania, but after WrestleMania, come on, with the moves that NXT has been making, and you're telling me it doesn't involve Vince, which we'll go over. He said that NXT has to compete with AEW, which has become a driven force behind a lot of their decisions. The only reason why they're competing with AEW is because Vince McMahon put them on the USA Network at 2 hours. It has nothing to do with the fact that they have to. They're competing with All Elite Wrestling because Vince McMahon wants them to compete with All Elite Wrestling because apparently there could be no other wrestling company in the world except for the WWE because Vince wants to own everything, yet he doesn't even realize that they need other wrestling companies in the wrestling industry. Thank you very much for sharing the stream out. They need other companies in the wrestling industry in order for the wrestling industry to thrive as a whole. So this is what was stated by Brian Alvarez, end quote. I know nobody believes this, but Vince has nothing to do with this. There's a million changes from when they went to USA that don't involve Vince, which is true. Obviously, I believe that, but in terms of NXT counter-programming All Elite Wrestling, the only reason why they were put on the USA Network was to counter-program All Elite Wrestling. So please, spare me that. I mean, yes, Vince wanted them on USA, and he wanted them to be live, okay, because obviously they're going to make more money by going live, but they went from taping 5 shows where everything is just consistent to every single solitary week. You hear that AEW's got a big show coming up, you gotta change this, you gotta rush this, that's the problem, end quote. So, all I need to do is look at the decisions that they've made since WrestleMania ended. Am I to believe that Triple H was the one that had Charlotte Flair win the NXT Women's Championship and to go on NXT for the 9 weeks that she held that championship? Exactly. Welcome, Hannah, to the live stream. Am I to believe that Drake Maverick and his real life firing was a Triple H idea? Am I to believe that the lack of focus on tag team wrestling ever since WrestleMania ended, am I to believe that that is a Triple H initiative? Am I to believe that the Great American Bash coming about in just 1 week on NXT to counter-program Firefest, and am I to believe that that is a Triple H idea? Am I to believe that Karrion Kross's immediate push to the top of NXT, which is going to happen tonight when he wins the NXT title, am I to believe that that is a Triple H idea? Absolutely fucking not. How you doing, Ninja of Rafi? Please hit the like button. Thank you very much. But am I to believe that all of that is Triple H ideas? No. Vince McMahon has clear. Am I to believe that Robert Stone puking? Am I to believe that Robert Stone throwing up? And on top of that, he was the main focus of the storyline when him and Chelsea Green broke up, which I don't even know why they broke them up to begin with. But am I to believe after all of that that Vince is not in control of NXT? No. If anyone believes this, you're a fucking idiot. Please, do not even try me. You are an absolute fucking idiot if you buy into this bullshit. I'm not sure where Brian got this report from, but I can tell that someone in WWE is feeding Brian bullshit. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Hannah. Someone in the WWE is feeding Brian Alvarez bullshit, and I know for a fucking fact that when it comes to counter-programming All Elite Wrestling, you know for a fact that Vince McMahon has every single right to be involved in it. He has every single right to be involved in it because that's what Vince McMahon would do. Vince McMahon would do shit like this. Triple H, I guarantee you, wouldn't even want to be on the USA Network. Vince McMahon merely moved NXT to the USA Network because they started to get all of this attention because of All Elite Wrestling. They gave NXT the Kings-like treatment, so that way more people would watch NXT and people would gravitate towards NXT, so that way it would take away from All Elite Wrestling's audience. Simple as that. Earl, what are your thoughts on this report?
Well, first of all, thank you very much to DJ Storm's loyal posse members who are tuning into Facebook, and welcome you all to actually YouTube. Excuse me. I do not buy anything that's being said here. I'm not buying it. You see, here's the thing. I don't understand these wrestling promotions. They think that wrestling fans are stupid. I don't know where you think, in your infinite wisdom, that you think that wrestling fans don't see the handwriting that's on the wall. Anything that comes underneath the WWE umbrella is controlled by the McMahon family. Okay? You have Raw, you have SmackDown, you have NXT. These are all controlled, okay? They had to do a rivalry for AEW Dynamite. They had to. So Vince came up with the idea, let's put NXT live on USA for 2 hours every Wednesday night. We all knew that. We all knew that was his idea. All of these concepts that he's done, and all of these things that he's doing, is his idea. So if you're going to think for 1 minute that we're going to be spoon-fed this crap and think that we're going to believe that he has no say in the NXT ship sailing in one direction or another, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, maybe you're not a wrestling fan. Maybe you just don't. Maybe you're not a wrestling fan. Maybe you don't understand. Because I cannot sit there for 2 to 3 hours trying to explain to you what is happening and what is, being said here. I'm not buying it. I don't buy it. I don't buy it one bit. I do not buy it one bit. I don't. I'm not buying it. I know that Vince McMahon is behind everything. He loves Charlotte Flair. He loves NXT. He loves to give those push. He loves putting them in the main roster. He loves putting his hands in everything. Anything that Vince can get his hands on, he has to have his control. He has to have it. He cannot sit behind the scenes and let somebody else do the work themselves. He has to control everything. So I don't believe anything that Brian Alvarez is saying here. I just don't. I don't buy it. I'm not dumb. I know what's going on here. It's like, you ever see that sign that says buyer beware?
Yeah.
This is the same thing.
Yeah.
Buyer beware. Buyer beware. And Brian, what are you doing?
There we go. That's the first one. That is the hashtag. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to write, what are you doing in the chat right now? Anyone who's in the chat, please hashtag, what are you doing? Please. There you go. I just hashtagged it. Please hashtag it. We're up to 15 likes right now. Let's see if we can get to 20 likes. Hit the like button if you haven't already done so. Yeah. What are you doing? Hashtag, what are you doing in the chat? Yeah. Let's get it going.
I had to take it out of the closet. I'm sorry. I had to take that.
Oh, he did. And we got a lot of what are you doings in the chat right now. We got a lot of what are you doings.
Yeah.
So
what are you doing?
So we're moving on to the next report. And the next report's even going to make it's even going to make me more angrier. The fact that, according to a report from Paul Davis from WrestlingNews.co, Vince McMahon has apparently given up on Mustafa Ali. He's given up on Mustafa Ali. After what happened on Raw, no shit. No shit he's given up on Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali has been off of television for the better part of 8 months. And you're telling me that Vince has given... I knew that Vince McMahon gave up on Mustafa Ali well before this report came out. And on top of that, he lost to Bobby Lashley. He got buried by Bobby Lashley, and then he got buried on Raw inside of 2 minutes. And now you're just telling me that no shit he's given up on Mustafa Ali. How many times has Vince McMahon given up? You know why? It's because of the simple fact that Mustafa Ali does not fit the mold of Vince McMahon's professional wrestler. Of course, if this was Karrion Kross. Now, I love Karrion Kross. Don't get me wrong. Karrion Kross is great at what he does. Karrion Kross is excellent. But if this were someone with the look of Karrion Kross, Vince McMahon would be all over him. This is Mustafa Ali we're talking about. Simple. The fans want someone. Vince McMahon doesn't want him. Therefore, Vince McMahon's not going to push him. I really don't have too much to say about this. It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic to me. And I'm assuming that you feel the same way when it comes to Mustafa Ali, because Mustafa Ali's great.
Yeah, I mean, even before he was taken off WWE TV, he had a push. He was doing a push. He got a concussion in the match, and he had to get pulled from the Money in the Bank. And then all of a sudden, it was just like he was here today, gone tomorrow. And apparently they did not have anything creatively for him. And that's the reason why he was left off for WWE TV. And now you're saying that you don't believe in your superstar. You know, this is why the WWE has problems with superstars, and this is why they have a problem with their contracts, and this is why they jump ship. Because, well, why would you want to work with somebody who don't believe in you? Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to waste your time on somebody who don't believe in you? I mean, all you're going to do is jobber him. What is the sense of doing that?
It's a pain in the ass.
Mustafa Ali is a great athlete.
Yeah.
No, but he's a great athlete. He could be the next Intercontinental Champion. I could see him do that. I could see him, if he builds up of himself, maybe one day down the road he could be a champion. I mean, he could be many things. And the thing is that you're not giving him a chance because you don't write things for him. All you're doing is jobbering him just like Dolph Ziggler. You're just jobbering these people. That's all you're doing. You're burying good talent. It doesn't make any sense. Again, what are you doing? What are you doing?
We need to make this a t-shirt.
What are you doing?
We need to make it a t-shirt. What are you doing?
Yeah. What are you doing? It just behooves me that I don't understand. Like, why would you want to bury him? Like, why would you do that? Like, why would you want to jobber him? He's been off of WWE for 9 months. He comes back, and he has no meaningful matches. Nothing to show for it.
And he loses in 2 minutes.
What kind of a crap? I mean, losing in 2 to 3 minutes. I mean, it's like, what is this? What are you doing? Like, if he was in AEW, I'm sure that he would be shining right now. He would be on some main event or something. I mean, but
you take a look at Matt Cardona, and Matt Cardona's only had 1 match in All Elite Wrestling, and he already looks immensely better. He looks better than anyone on WWE television.
Yeah, and I'm just going to say this before we even move on. I'm just going to say this. AEW has done better in this pandemic than WWE.
Oh,
I'm going to say that right now.
Undoubtedly.
I mean, I'm just going to say that. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. And their superstars looked a lot fresher and a lot more happier than the WWE superstars. And to bury Ali this way, it's a shame. It's a damn shame because he's a great talent. And it's a shame that you're just sitting here and jobbering him. I'm like, well, why?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know why they do half of the shit that they do. But we're moving on to our third report today from Belt Fan Dan. At Belt Fan Dan reported that there is an idea of a Raw Underground title being pitched, and it would have a beat-up design similar to the Hardcore title. First off, Raw Underground shouldn't even be a thing. Raw Underground shouldn't even be a thing. It's a UFC Brawl for All hybrid with a dash of Fight Club, and you're telling me to take that seriously? Now you're going to bring a title into the mix when you should be focusing on building up talent in the ring with good storylines, quality angles, instead of shoot fighting in the back in the locker room. I really don't even want to waste too much time on this. All I'm saying is I hope to God that Raw Underground is dead. Dead by the end of next month. Hopefully sooner, because I can't fucking stand it. I can't stand it. So, do you think that they're going to make a title, or do you think that they're going to finally just nix it for good? I hope they nix it for good. It's fucking terrible.
Unfortunately, as I said to you before, I think we had this conversation a few months back, or maybe a year ago, or maybe 2 years ago. If 98%, now listen to me carefully, if 98% of the audience loves what they see on television, it's here to stay.
98% of the audience are idiots.
Well, look, listen. If it trends worldwide on Twitter and the fans love it, it's here to stay.
It ain't gonna trend right. It ain't gonna trend for the right reasons, though.
Well, unfortunately, this is the way of the land. This is the way of the land, and we have to deal with it. I personally don't think Raw Underground belongs with the format.
It doesn't.
It's trying to gimmick or mimic. Raw is Raw, and that was many years ago. If you like factory wrestling kind of a thing, because that's what I consider Raw Underground. Raw Underground to me is like one of those dirty, abandoned factories that you go into, and the fan is going in the ceiling, and then have this dirty fight, and it's a makeshift ring put together. That's the way Raw Underground reminds me of, with the ladies dancing and everything like that. It's like a ballroom brawl kind of a thing. So I don't think it fits the Raw brand at all. It doesn't fit.
It doesn't fit the current mold of professional wrestling right now.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't fit, because the thing is, it's like, okay, you're watching a wrestling match, and then all of a sudden you go to this Raw Underground, and I'm like, what? I'm confused here. What's going on here? Like I said, and I said before, and I hate to disappoint everyone, if 98% of the audience likes it, it's here to stay. As far as the title is concerned, I don't think you should bring a title into the mix. I don't think the title should be introduced, because first of all, it doesn't fit the mold. Your WWE is just grasping at straws right now. They're trying to do everything possible to keep the viewers occupied, to make them watch. Remember, Raw is losing 2 million viewers per week, and that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people to be losing viewers every week. So you have to sit there and think of something else to give to the audience. Even if you have to create an Attitude Era match, a Texas Tornado match, something to keep the audience, the hardcore fans, entertained. Because you have to focus on your demographics and know who you're targeting to. This Raw Underground has no target. There's no target here. You don't know. I mean, who are you trying to appease here? Who are you trying to appeal to when it's this Raw Underground? Are you trying to appeal to the hardcore fans? Or are you trying to appeal to the casual fans? Because to me, as a hardcore fan, I'm not entertained by this. To see Nia Jax being suspended, coming on Underground again. Here we go again. What are you doing?
What are you doing? Oh, no.
What are you doing?
We're going to get a big what are you doing in this next report. Listen to this next report. We're going to get a big what are you doing here. Rusev, listen this. Rusev appeared on the Ryback Show, and he wondered why he couldn't pull a similar act to Kurt Angle with his Rusev Day shtick. He talked about how Vince McMahon purposely held him down. Listen to this. And this is a long one. He stated, and I quote, "Why can't I do that? Why can't I show my personality backstage? Why can't I go in the ring and do what I do? Then I was told, don't look at the people, don't smile, don't do this. Really? Everything I'm doing, it seems the people are liking it. Why am I getting over and you're telling me to do the opposite? I didn't understand. I had a conversation with Vince, and he told me that with Rusev Day, they were just mocking me. They didn't mean it." Now he continues by saying Rusev Day was going on. There was no way the office didn't notice because it was before, after, during the show. It was everywhere. It was everywhere. I always felt defeated because what was I doing it for? It was all competition, and finally I got to the point of, wow, we're doing something right. There's no way it wasn't noticed. The first meeting it was, they're fucking with you. They don't mean what they're saying. I respect and I listen because I always want to listen from Vince. He had everybody on his side. In my mind, I knew it wasn't true. They started putting my segments early so the Rusev Day chants would go away. I was not on TV for 3 weeks. I'm sitting backstage all night and listening to people chant Rusev Day. I went to one of the writers and I'm like, this is not right. This is the first time I yelled at a writer, and I felt bad. He was like, "We don't know what to do." What do you mean you don't know what to do? Just listen. They're telling you what to do. They're shutting me down, and I don't understand why. What am I fighting for? I did everything right. I went to acting classes. I started working on my body. I did all the extra stuff. I was just defeated when Vince said the second time, they're fucking with you. And I said, Vince, we have sold out all of our merchandise. What do you mean the shirt is sold out? Well, maybe they didn't make enough. They didn't make enough. That's why the shirt's sold out? Not because we're doing good? Really? They didn't know what to do. Good guy or bad guy? Come on, man. End quote. And that was the entire interview on the Ryback Show. So I got a lot to say about this. So first things first, they're fucking with you. They don't mean it. Really? We don't mean it. We don't mean it. That's why literally everyone was chanting Rusev Day. That's why the shirt was sold out. The shirt was sold out, and the man said, oh, well, maybe they didn't make enough. This is just another case of Vince McMahon seeing something that wasn't in the plans, and he did not want to take over, and he did not want to push that guy. He didn't want to take advantage of an organic reaction. You know, it's very rare. It's very, very rare that Vince McMahon actually takes advantage of an organic reaction. They did it with Kofi, they did it with Bryan, and they did it with Becky. And let me tell you something. Those guys were lucky as shit. They were lucky as shit that Vince McMahon did that with them. They are lucky as shit, I'm telling you. It really pisses me off. It pisses me off because Rusev, he worked his fucking ass off, and he finally got over, and now Vince is telling him, oh yeah, they're fucking with you. Really? And here's the thing. Here's the thing. He actually listened to Vince because he's loyal. He listened to Vince because he's loyal and because he respects his boss. Let me tell you something. If I have a guy like Rusev working for me, I would fucking treasure him. I would treasure him because of that type of loyalty. Vince McMahon should be counting his fucking stars that he has someone as loyal and respectful as Rusev. He should be fucking praising Rusev for putting up with that bullshit. And the writers didn't even know what to do. The writers couldn't do anything because the writers, let me tell you something, the writers were probably pitching shit for Rusev Day to Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon kept shutting him down. Rusev was never in the plans, and when something isn't in the plans, 99% of the time, WWE is not going to go forth with it. Oh, they're fucking with you. Really, they're fucking with you. Second time, oh, you didn't make enough shirts. Really? You didn't make enough shirts? How about you stop bullshitting the audience that you have? How about you stop bullshitting the employees that you have? And how about you take advantage of something that the audience wants? You senile fuck, I'm telling you. I cannot stand Vince McMahon. I swear, I'm gonna have a fucking vein popping out of my forehead within the next 20 minutes, I'm telling you. I can already sense Earl Cole is disgusted by this report. What do you got to say about this?
First of all, take a drink of water.
That's what I'm gonna do.
And don't have an aneurysm because I can't resuscitate you over the screen. I can't.
I'm good.
Do that. So, okay. That was a lot to deal with. First of all, when Rusev first came out, he was called a Bulgarian Brute. Okay? He was dominant in the ring when he had Lana. Okay? Lana came on the screen and she was talking into the Russian accent. Okay? She had Rusev, she was talking the Russian accent. She came on WWE TV. She was talking about Rusev, she was talking about how dominant he was and everything else. Everything was going fine. Then all of a sudden, for some strange reason, Lana loses her Russian accent. She has lost her Russian accent. Now she's talking American. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, what's happening here? Then Rusev's character gets rearranged. He's no longer the Gary Brute. Now they put him in these stupid, wasteful time segments, matches, and everything else. He's starting to water him down. Then everybody started with this Rusev Day thing. Let me tell you something. I don't think the fans were making a mockery of Rusev. Let me tell you something. Fans love Rusev. They do. And I'm going to give you a prime example. When I was in Madison Square Garden some 2 years ago, and Rusev was on the card, okay? You had 15,000 people. 15,000 people, Rusev Day. How in the world can you tell me, as a fan of wrestling for 40 plus years, to tell me that we're making a fun of Rusev? Who are you to speak for fans? First of all, you don't speak for fans. You can't speak for fans. You can't. Even in your lifetime, you can't speak for fans. You can't. I can't even speak for a fan. I only can speak for myself. And what I know is that I never made a mockery of Rusev. I love Rusev. I thought he was entertaining as hell in the ring. And I thought he was athletic as well. So for Vince McMahon to come here and say that the fans were just making fun of you, you don't know what the fans think. You don't know what the fans, because you don't listen to the fans anyway. So how do you know what a fan thinks when you don't listen to the fans? How does that work? How does that work? You don't listen to the fans, but then you know what the fans like and what they don't like. How does that work? How does that work? Explain that to me. Explain that to me. Because I find utter bullshit. I find that to be utter bullshit. Because you don't listen to the fans, so how do you know what a fan likes and what they don't like? Little children love Rusev. They love Rusev. Little children love Rusev. I'm sorry, he had a following. He did. He did. Adults and children alike like Rusev. I thought he was entertaining. I found him to be highly entertaining and very athletic. But for some reason, you don't like people to the ground until you can get what you can get out of them and toss them aside like they were used toys. So I'm completely disgusted by this, and as a fan, I'm angry at it because you cannot sit there and tell me that I was making a mockery of Rusev. I wasn't making a mockery of Rusev, neither was anyone, probably anyone else. You don't even listen to the fans. So how are you going to come up here and tell us what we like and what we don't like? What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?
I was hoping you would say that. I was hoping you would add that in there. Oh my God.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh my God. It pisses me off. It really does piss me off, I'm telling you. Oh, we're going to get even more pissed off when we get to and we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw now, which was terrible. Raw sucked in every sense of the word. So that wraps up the news, rumors, and reports. We're going to talk about Monday Night Raw now. So Drew McIntyre, he kicked off the show. McIntyre kicked off the show, and he was actually cutting a very good promo. So he was saying what Randy did was unforgivable. Who did the dislike? I don't know, Danielle. I don't know who did the dislike, but whoever it is, it don't matter. We need 2 more likes to get to 20 likes. Let's see if you can get this stream to 20 likes. I know you guys can do it. So Drew was saying that what Randy did was unforgivable. Drew says that Randy's pure evil. And after Rick poured his heart out, he still punted him in the skull. So then we had a lot of technical difficulties during, thank you very much for sharing. So we had all these technical difficulties, and it showcased Retribution tearing apart the production truck and then going into commercial. So Retribution, they invade the production truck and then they just disappear for the rest of the show. So they have everyone hostage in the production truck, and after commercial they just disappear. So right then and there, that right there was idiotic in its own right, logic gap right there. But you have Drew McIntyre in the ring cutting a promo, and you have Retribution interrupt the WWE Champion. So you're telling me that Retribution is more important than the WWE Champion and the WWE Championship match at SummerSlam of all shows? Really? You're telling me that Retribution and building this Nexus Light faction is more important than the WWE Championship? So right then and there, I was pissed. Right then and there, I was a big-time negative. What were your thoughts on this opening segment? I fucking hated it.
I thought it was all over the place. Honest with you, it needed a mop. First of all, I'm getting a little fed up with this Retribution thing. The lights, the flickering, the messing around with the pyro and all of this stuff, and all of this technical stuff, and it just doesn't fit a segment. It doesn't fit segments. And I don't understand where you're going with this. What are you doing trying to figure out what they're trying to do here? This segment was a mess. I mean, Drew McIntyre is the coach of the year against Randy Orton for SummerSlam. And you telling me that you took the focus away from that and focused on this radical group that you created called Retribution. I mean, it didn't make any sense. The segment made no sense to me. And if it was that kind of a direction for the night, the rest of the night did not go in the direction that they wanted it to go into. It's almost like throwing gum on the wall and saying if it's going to stick. This didn't stick. This didn't stick at all. This was a horrible segment. This is a terrible disservice to the WWE Championship, because Drew McIntyre is a great champion, and he's a great babyface, and he's a great champion, and he should have had his time on television. He should have built up the momentum going into SummerSlam, and that should have been the focus. This should have not been the focus of you getting Retribution in here and flipping the lights and all of that. That was bad. I don't know who came up with that, but that was just very poor execution on their part. And later on, as we talk about Raw, I have something else to add, but this was just this segment was just horrible. It was a dumpster fire. It was not good.
Tell me about
it. Was a complete F. It was a complete F on their part for failure. And again, what are you doing? What are you doing?
We're going to be using that a lot throughout the rest of the stream. So then coming back from commercial, the locker room was being confronted by McIntyre. Drew said that everyone should band together. Rollins then came in, said that he's the locker room leader. So obviously Ricochet butted in. He said that Rey's could be here. Drew told him to step up, and then the superstars obviously separated the two men. Then in the ring, we had The Hurt Business, which is a terrible name. I've said it once and I'll say it again. The Hurt Business on Apollo Crews and his buddies. So yeah, now we have MVP blaming Retribution on Crews going into a United States Championship match at SummerSlam. So then Crews came out. He said that MVP is trying to create distractions because he can't beat him without help. So he challenged Benjamin to a match. And if Crews won, Benjamin and Lashley would be banned from ringside. So the match began during commercial. Truth and Tozawa came running in with the 24/7 7-Eleven I-95 European television TV. So we had that. So that caused a distraction. The Hurt Business attacked. Ali, Cedric, and Ricochet came out to help. Benjamin then won the 24/7 title. Well, Benjamin actually lost to Apollo Crews. Benjamin lost to Apollo Crews, so that happened. Crews with a roll-up for the win, and then the Hurt Business challenged Crews and his team to a 6-man elimination tag team match later on in the night. Another segment that was just all over the place. I didn't give a shit. Get the 24/7 title. That MVP does not win the United States Championship because MVP, he needs to stick to a managerial role, and he needs to stick to enhancing Bobby Lashley and enhancing Shelton Benjamin. And that's all I'm going to say about that. How about you?
I mean, in this match, Ali and Ricochet look bad. They really did.
Well, this wasn't a match. This was just a segment. The match was Crews and Benjamin.
Right. The segment. Okay. We're talking about the segment. Okay, I thought we were talking about. Okay. The segment. I didn't care for this segment at all. Another wasted. You see, this is the problem that I have with the WWE. Why are you wasting time on unflavored segments when you could be building a match? Why are you wasting time on segments that makes no sense? I don't understand it with wrestling companies. Why are you, especially this one, why are you wasting your time on segments that make no sense? What are you getting out of the segment? What are you building to? What's the feud? What are you trying to do here? I don't understand what's going on here. I don't understand the logic behind these segments. First, the Drew McIntyre segment was a nightmare. Then you had this segment was a nightmare. I mean, I don't get it. Again, what are you doing? What are you doing? Instead of giving a match, instead of putting a match on to replace this segment, no, you've given us this Hurt Business thing, and I hate that name, the Hurt Business. I hate it. I hate the name.
It sounds like a 4th grade bullying posse.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like the Hurt Business. Here's my business card, call the Hurt Business. You know, it's like, I don't like what he's for. And, what are you doing? What are you, listen guys, use the hashtag, what are you doing?
Please, hashtag, what are you doing? Again, we're going to use it throughout the entire stream. So,
I mean, anyways, I'm done.
Yeah. We need to move on. We need to move on to the next match, which was Ivar versus Angel Garza. So Angel Garza won here. Drop kick to the back of the head. Dawkins then came up on the screen. He was talking to Demi from The Bachelor. So obviously then Joe told Vega that everyone has been going through the security footage, so they found something of Garza's, and after commercial they showed Zelina Vega poisoning Montez Ford's drink. And I said this on the rundown for SummerSlam. How sad is it? How pathetic is it that we have a Raw Tag Team title match and the main story of this match is a fucking poisoning angle? It's not the tag team titles. It's not who's the best tag team. It's a fucking poisoning angle. Really? Now that is a what are you doing right there. So then obviously Ford returned, and then the Profits beat down Andrade and Angel Garza, leading into a match later on in the night. Terrible, and apparently, Montez Ford is back to dancing and shucking and jiving, even though he just got poisoned. I don't know how logical that is, but then again, this is WWE. They don't know the meaning of the fucking word logic. Would you like to comment on this, or do you want to just move on? Because I mean, not like anything on Raw is that much important, but
No. I mean, it just shows a testament of how the WWE treats their tag team. It just shows a testament. I've had conversations with many fans about this, and I've done segments on this many times over. WWE does not care about their tag team, and it obviously shows with the segment. It obviously shows. Instead of you building up this team and getting the feud going with the tag team and who's the best tag team, like you said, why are you coming up with this poison angle? I mean, it's like, what is the sense in that? I mean, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, what is going on here?
they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
No, because the thing is that you're confusing the audience. And the thing is that the audience is expecting some kind of heat, some kind of rivalry going on here. Not some powder and some drink to make you dizzy and you're out of it. And that's not how you build up a feud in a tag team. That's wrong. You're just turning the audience off. This is why they're losing ratings. This is why, because of these decisions. This is why they're losing ratings, because they make these choice poor decisions.
1.6 million for Raw, and yet they wonder why the ratings are in the toilet.
I mean, this is not good. This is not good. This is not how you build up a feud. I mean, this is really not how you build up a feud. I'm sorry.
So we're moving on to Mickie James versus Natalya. Not even like that really means anything. Murphy and Rollins came out during the match, so obviously you can see how important that WWE sees this match. None of this would happen if DJ Storms was in control of WWE. You're damn right, Hannah. You're damn right, Hannah. But Mickie James and Natalya. So Rollins and Murphy, they came out during this match to talk to Joe. So he asked if he knew if Dominic would be there. Joe asked, "Why are you so shook?" So Natalya won the account out in 4 minutes. Rollins promised hell to Rey Mysterio and Dominic, and you can definitely tell how unimportant the women's match was. Why even bring Mickie James back if you're just going to use her as a backdrop for Rollins and Murphy to come out and talk to Samoa Joe? I don't understand. But that was that. No one gave a shit. Poor treatment of Mickie James. Poor treatment of women's wrestling in WWE as per usual. And that is pretty much that. What about you?
I think that sums it up right then and there. Here's the thing. When you have a superstar that's been injured and he's been off the list for a long time and then they come back, I think the importance is to build that around their return and to give them a proper match. Not mix other things into the segment or into the match. And that to me is a testament of how poor your ridership is and how poor your direction is and how poor your decision making is. If I had a superstar who was out for 9 months or 6 months or 4 months, and they return from injury, I would build a match around them and not have anything else in the segment. They're coming back, they're being welcomed back by the audience, by the television audience, let them get acclimated again and everything else. And this is the way you're supposed to build up a person. But when you add all these other elements to it, it takes away from the return. It takes away from it. And it just diminishes the whole thing, and it makes everything sour to the audience. So I'm completely baffled about why they did this. Again, another failed attempt at trying to keep the audience. And it's just not politically correct thing to do at this point in time. You're trying to keep the audience, not lose the audience. And I like building up people. I don't like adding all this mix to the pie and everything else and everything going in between. Because it's just not politically correct. Again, what are you doing? Again, what are you doing here? I don't understand.
And don't even get me started on what happened next. Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Asuka and Shayna Baszler. So Banks and Bayley took the mics. They said the same shit that they've been saying for the last few weeks. And I love Sasha and Bayley, but don't get me. But you need to understand that if you have two individuals go out there and say the same shit over and over again for weeks on end, it ain't gonna favor well. It ain't gonna come off well. Come on. So said that.
It's redundant.
Yeah, they said that. They said that Asuka's stupid for thinking that they could beat them both. So they mocked Kyrie for not being there. Baszler then came out and says that she has whoever wins the Raw Women's title next. Asuka came out, rambled some shit in Japanese. She said to Shayna, "You fight with me before you fight against me." So the match starts. Nia Jax came in, but she's apparently suspended. But she still came in. She attacked Baszler, and then both women went to the back and fought through the PC. Then we had Sasha and Bayley working on Asuka, 2-on-1 situation. Baszler then came back, and she actually won the match by tapping out Bayley. So your SmackDown Women's Champion now loses 2 weeks in a row on Monday Night Raw. And don't even get me started at what happened on SmackDown, and then she loses on SmackDown as well. She's a champion, and yet you wonder why your champions don't feel special because you have them losing in non-title matches every other fucking week. I didn't give a shit about this match. We had some decent wrestling, but I didn't give a shit because the booking was ridiculous. So I'm just hoping that Nia Jax is released along with the rest of them. I swear. I'm still wondering why Nia Jax wasn't released back in April. So I hope that she goes to the unemployment line. And as far as Shayna Baszler goes, I hope that Shayna Baszler wins the Raw Women's title at some point. But Sasha and Bayley, how credible do they look if they are losing in non-title matches and when they're saying the same shit over and over again? It's going to make them look weak and repetitive. What are you doing? How about you?
I love that assessment. I mean, because here's a problem that I have, and here's the thing. If you want to make your champions look better, and you want them to look stronger, you have to make them win. You can't keep saying every 2 weeks that your champions are going to lose in a non-title match. It don't look good. It don't look credible. The title is going to be meaningless after that. And you're watering down the history of the title. And I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that at all. And I agree with you, DJ Storms, that this was a horror show. This was a horror show.
It's a horror show every week, man. It's a horror show every week.
It just befuddles me that you have your champion lose 2 weeks in a row, and then last night she lost again on SmackDown. I mean, this is not cool. This is not how you build your champions. I don't know. if I was a writer and I was sitting in the boardroom and they came to me and they said, Bailey is going to lose tonight, I would fight against that. I was like, no, she's not. No, she's not. She's not going to lose tonight because she's a champion. You can't have your champions lose every 2 weeks. I mean, this is poor decision making. Again, I said this again. What in the hell are you doing? What in the hell are you doing? You can't sit there and make your champions look weak like tea.
Weak like tea. Now that's a new T-shirt.
Yeah, you can't make them weak like tea. Like, what are you doing? Like, come on, man. Come on. I can hold on to here. I mean, this is bad. This is bad. What are you thinking?
Well, then later on, we actually got Raw Underground with Shayna and Maria Shafir and Jessamine Duke. So we got some shit to talk about there. But then we had Ruby Riott versus Peyton Royce. I didn't give a shit about this match. The Iconics suck. Spinning neckbreaker for the win by Peyton Royce, and that was that. Do you even want to comment on this? Because the Iconics are A's.
Yeah, because me and Iconics are a horror show. They're annoying. I mean, the voice is annoying. The song is annoying. I mean,
Iconic.
Yeah, it's just I am done.
Oh my God, that's something right there. I've been done. I fucking been done. I'll show you something iconic. Trust me. All you need to do is watch the LFU, and I'll show you something iconic. What's going on, big boy Johnny? Continue what you were saying.
I'm done with them. I think they're annoying. I think that they can't wrestle a lick. I mean, they're just all over the place. They talk the same shtick every day, every week, every hour. It's done. It's boring. I don't know what to say about these two. They're like Heckle and Jekyll. I just
Heckle and Jekyll. That's great.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
So, do you even want to talk about Raw Underground? Because, like, I literally want to forget that it even exists. We had Eric and Dolph on Raw Underground, and Dolph Ziggler chokes out Eric with the sleeper hold. So I can't take Eric seriously ever again after that. So now we were supposed to believe that Eric of the Viking Raiders, he puts on all these classics in the ring, and Dolph Ziggler beats him. Dolph Ziggler, who's been a loser on WWE television for 4 years now, ever since his feud with The Miz ended, and he chokes out Eric. Great job there. Great job on how to build talent. Raw Underground needs to die. Do you even want to talk about
it? Again, like I said before, and I said in the last segment, if 98% of the audience, and it's trending worldwide, Raw Underground is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. I've said it before, and I've said it again. I don't think that this segment fits Raw. I mean, whose idea was this to create this thing? Because I don't even know what to make of it. Nia Jax was on there. She's supposed to be suspended. What she's doing there, I don't know. I really don't know. It was just really bad. I mean, then you had the Viking Raiders on there, and you make them lose. I mean, you're just disrespecting their talent. And it was a hot mess. It was just like, cake caught in the rain, and the frosting is just melting off of it. It was a mess. It was a hot mess. It was just, I don't even know what to say about this segment. I don't have too much to say, but it was a horror show. It was a horror show. It was like, what are you doing with this? Like, what are you trying to, who are you trying to appease? This is my question about Raw Underground. Who are you trying to appease here with this Raw Underground?
Shane McMahon.
But which audience are you trying to target? Are you trying to target the hardcore fans? Are you trying to target what you're trying to do here? Because I don't find it appealing. I don't find Raw Underground appealing at all. I don't find it appealing. I just don't. I don't see any redeeming value in it.
Well, there's at least one good segment that we got. Well, actually two. But the first good segment that we actually got was between Rey Mysterio, Dominic, Rollins, and Murphy. Now, even though it's the same shit that we've already gotten, how you doing? How you doing, Danielle? Danielle's back. So, it came out to address Rollins and his son. So, Ray promised to be in his son's corner to watch him kick Rollins' ass. Dominic says that he knows what he has to do to defend their family. Rollins and Murphy then came up on the screen. Rollins then called out Ray for putting his son in danger. He says everyone has a role in the greater good. Says that Ray still hasn't earned his. So the tragic thing it's that Mysterio's legacy will be the ultimate sacrifice in the greater good. Ray then challenged Rollins to come out, and they did. Ray and Dominic then got out of the ring, grabbed some kendo sticks. They started whipping Rollins and Mysterio with the kendo sticks, and Rollins and Murphy escaped the clutches of Ray and Dominic. And that was pretty much that. That was pretty much it. So, decent for what it was, but it's not like we haven't seen this over the course of the last few weeks. Decent, but repetitive. How about you?
Yeah, I agree with the assessment, and yeah, I mean it is what it is. I mean it is what it is. It's a great build up to their feud. I did read somewhere that Dominic says that he's going to change his name, his ring name. So I think that SummerSlam he's going to be in trouble with Rollins. I think he's going to have a handful with Rollins.
So apparently, my friend Travis from Louisiana just joined. How we feeling? Well, I'll be feeling a lot better. I'll be feeling a lot better when I'm not talking about Monday Night Raw. Trust me on that. I'll be feeling a lot better when we're not talking Monday Night Raw. I got Earl Cole here with me, so he's here to keep me happy.
How's it going?
He's here to keep me happy. Earl, just say how's it going.
I'm trying to keep him staying. So again with Dominic, I think he's going to have his hands full at SummerSlam. I don't see him winning the match against Rollins. I really don't see that. As far as the segment goes, I thought it was okay. I thought it was decent. It was okay. It was what it is. It is what it is. At least this was a segment that worked. And
If it had to work, I mean, it had Seth Rollins and Dominic in it, and that's probably been the best program on Raw all summer. It's not really saying too much, but so we're moving on that to Arturo Ruiz and Riddick Moss on Raw Underground. We get another Raw Underground segment here. So they beat the shit out of each other and some unknowns before that ended, and I believe that was it. I believe that was it for Raw Underground for the night. Do you even want to talk about it? I mean, what is it? Crazy that Dominic is on SummerSlam 15 years later. Yeah. You're telling me. I actually got SummerSlam 2015 playing in the background, but yeah, like Dominic, we gotta bring it to light that Dominic, he was watching Ray and Eddie fight over him at SummerSlam.
The custody storyline.
Yeah.
I remember it very well. Of course, I remember that very well. Yes, the custody of Dominic. Who could forget that? Who could forget that?
I'm your papi.
That happened. What happened?
I said, I'm your papi.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was a great segment. That was great. That was a great feud. That was a great feud. You can't forget that. I mean, who could not forget that? I mean, that was something, you know, with Vicky Guerrero and all of that involved, and the late Guerrero, and yeah, I will never forget that. We will never forget that. As far as the Raw Underground segment goes, I don't really have much to say about it. I was just glad it was over. I was just glad that we were done for the night and we could move on. And we had Shawn Michaels in the ring, which I'm gonna which I know you're going to talk about.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later, but speaking of underground, I'm telling you, this show ain't going to get better until Vince McMahon is underground.
Well, I'm not gonna wish anything on it.
No, I'm not wishing anything upon anyone. I never said I wish death upon anyone. I'm just saying, when it happens, that's when the show is going to get better. It's nothing but a desperate attempt at ratings, pretty much. It's a desperate attempt to be edgy. And you know what? You don't need to be edgy in order to generate ratings. All you need to do is put on some good shows like what AEW's been doing, what NXT's been doing. We'll talk about AEW Dark. We'll talk about AEW Dark afterwards. And then obviously we'll talk about NXT too. But then we had The Hurt Business. Terrible name. Again, it's a terrible name. The Hurt Business. Versus Apollo Crews, Ali, and Ricochet. Richard O'Shea. So we had a Dominator on Ali for an elimination in a minute. So Ali gets eliminated in a minute. And then a pay dirt to Ricochet, and he gets eliminated directly after that. So obviously you can sense, bless you. You can sense what Vince McMahon thinks of Ricochet and Ali right there. So right then and there, I was pissed. And I wanted to throw my fucking remote out the window. So then we had Apollo hitting the toss powerbomb on Benjamin for an elimination. 7, 48-7, 7-11, I-95, European TV, running around the ring, chasing Akira Tozawa and his Ninjas Championship. Well, where was I? I got. You see, I'm too busy joking about the 24/7 title, like trying to be our truth over here, that I forgot where we were. So Lashley was the last one in the ring. MVP hit a toss powerbomb for an elimination on Benjamin and MVP. And then we had what was it we got? We had Lashley with a spear on Apollo Crews for the win. So again, another champion loses on television. So I know that you want to say something on this, Earl. So I'm gonna hand it over to you.
No, I'm just like really frustrated because, you know, Ali and Ricochet looked bad in this match. They really did. They looked terrible in this match. They looked buried in this match. And as far as Lashley is concerned, this match was just, I don't know what to say about this match. I mean, it was lopsided. I mean, there was no effort into it. You know, if you're going to have an elimination match, a tag team elimination match, can you please do me a favor and have some effort into it? At least the other side, at least put up a fight. This was just lopsided. This was just them getting dominated and getting pinned, and it just looked one-sided. And the Hurt Business, I mean, they need to change the name, the Hurt Business. It didn't look good. It didn't look good at all. You buried Ali, you buried Ricochet, two of the most talented wrestlers on the planet. You're burying them, and then you have the Hurt Business standing tall in the ring. I don't understand that. I mean, that's not how you do a six-man tag elimination. I would have had a little fight to it, at least something. Okay, there was a few eliminations on the other side, but still, this was just lopsided. This was more catered to the Hurt Business than anything else. This wasn't for Ali and Ricochet to shine in this match. This wasn't for them to show their athleticism in the match. This was just burying them. This was. Get them in there, spear the crap out of them, and pin them in that and get it over with. I mean, what kind of a thing is that? What kind of a lopsided match is that? When you have an agenda, and that's the problem that I have with them. Because they do have an agenda. They have an agenda to bury good talent, and I don't know why. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't obtain it. I don't understand why you have good talent. Why are you burying them like that in a match like this? I would have not had it lopsided like this. You should have had it. You should have had it where he put up a fight or something. Should have had something to hold on, something to hold your hand. I mean, it was just here, just go ahead and bury these guys, and that's it. I didn't like this match at all. This was a spit in the garbage kind of a match. This was garbage to me. This was just lopsided buryism. That's what I call it. Lopsided buryism. What are you doing?
There we go.
What are you doing?
There we go.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?
So Travis actually said a while back that Ricochet, do we think that Ricochet is just phoning it in right now? I actually think he is.
Yeah, I think he's just giving up. He's just giving up because there's just no way that you could talk to Vince or talk to the writers and say, look, listen, we got to win some matches here. He's just burying them. And then they're going to get disgruntled and they'll leave. They'll leave. Because why would you want to work with a company who's going to bury you every week?
There you go.
And why would you want to work with a company like that? For real.
So then, and then we got Cedric and Tozawa for the 24/7, 7-Eleven, 48/7 I-95 European TV Championship afterwards. You good? You good?
I'm good. Go ahead. Go for it.
So, oh my God. Where was I? Oh yeah, that's right. Lumbar check for the win here in 1 minute, and then Benjamin comes out with a pay dirt out of nowhere and wins the title back. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Yeah, Travis, that's my friend Danielle from New York. So next week we actually got Ivar and Dolph Ziggler on Raw Underground. So actually no, we're not done with Raw Underground because we had Marina Shafir on Raw Underground with Baszler, and Nia Jax actually teased a match with Shayna Baszler on Raw Underground, and then Nia just walked off. So who gives a shit about that? We ain't even going to talk about that. We then had Andrade and Montez Ford. So I don't even understand why Montez Ford's like doing his thing over here, bringing swag like nobody can when you just got poisoned. So Montez Ford wins with a roll-up after Bianca took out Vega. Would you like to say something on this, or do you want to just move on to the Shawn Michaels segment before we get to dark?
Here's the thing. First of all, that's a good impersonation. I like that.
I mean, come on. I could also do his shuffling. I just need a solo cup though. This won't suffice.
I'll mail you some.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Just don't poison it.
I would never do that, my friend.
Okay, thank you. So continue.
This segment, first of all, here's the thing I don't understand with segments and wrestling. Why can't people sell things correctly? Now, you're supposed to be poisoned. You're supposed to come out weak. You're supposed to come out dizzy. And stuff like that. You're supposed to sell it. And you're not selling it. So the audience is not going to believe that you were poisoned. It makes it unbelievable. You have to...
There you go. I just had to do it. I had to do it. People, you do realize that there's going to be weird people that are just going to watch this video back for me doing that.
Oh my God. That was my highlight of 2020. I tell you, that was my highlight. That made my day, my week, my year, my hour, everything.
I try.
So this this wasn't good. I didn't like this match because he didn't sell it good, and that's all I gotta say. He didn't sell it well. He didn't sell it, and it's unbelievable. A way to build up a tag team title match anyway. So this doesn't really say that. I wouldn't have made the poison the angle. I would have made the rivalry the angle.
Sorry, I'm still in my element. See, when I put the sunglasses on, I become a different individual.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And you have an audience that you have to appease. Anyway, this is not how you build a segment of a tag team title match. And I'm sorry, this wasn't good for me. As a hardcore fan, I would have liked to see him sell the poison, and I would have liked to see him, at least get beat in the ring. I mean, that would have been okay in my book. But he didn't sell it. He didn't sell anything. He didn't do anything. So I just don't believe it.
So then we got the main segment with Michaels coming out to address Randy. Now, I didn't really pay too much attention to what he actually said, but he did obviously he got RKO'd. Obviously that was coming. So then Drew came running out, and Randy ran away. And then when Drew was attending to to Shawn Michaels, Randy tried for the sneak attack. Drew McIntyre attacked him, threw him into the table, into the plexiglass, and then he turned his attention back to Shawn Michaels off. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Fairly decent segment. So, fairly decent segment right here. It made Drew look like a little bit of an idiot for turning his back on Orton, when we already know that Randy Orton was not fully down, and I guess that Randy Orton was quote-unquote playing possum. I didn't mind the promo from Michaels, but Randy Orton RKOing Michaels, obviously that was coming. So we'll see where this ends up at SummerSlam. I do expect Drew McIntyre to retain, and he should retain. He should retain specifically because of the fact that that he's only on the title for 5 months, and if you're going to transfer that legitimacy to someone, build up a new star like Aleister Black. And you can do that at WrestleMania 37. So we'll see where that goes. But before we get into AEW Dark, what were your thoughts on this segment?
Because from what I understand, that after the segment ended and after Raw ended, some fans were upset with Shawn Michaels and the way he sold the RKO and the punch.
Oh no, absolutely. Absolutely.
It was a total disrespect to Randy Orton. Now, I did a poll. If you can go on DJ's Posse page on Facebook, I did a poll and I asked the members, did you think that Shawn Michaels disrespected Randy Orton by not selling the RKO and the punt?
He didn't care.
Overwhelmingly, everyone said yes. He did disrespect Randy Orton by not selling the punt and the RKO. I don't know if he disrespected him, but he should have laid down when the punt took place. I think that he should have sold it, but he didn't. So I'm kind of conflicted here. I don't know if it's a disrespect or a lack of focus or what. I did not see anything that would say that he would. I don't know. I'm just kind of like at a loss. What did you think? Did you think that he disrespected him by not selling the?
I'm not sure if he disrespected him, but I would say that he probably didn't give a shit. And to be quite honest, WWE doesn't give a shit about the show, so why should Shawn Michaels give a shit? We all knew that Shawn Michaels was just there to pop a rating and to get an RKO from Orton. So obviously we're going to see some segments where people just don't give a shit. People just don't give a shit because the WWE doesn't give a shit, so why should others give a shit? Now, I'm not sure what he was going for, but he did not do a good job at all. He really didn't. Now, I'm not sure where it's headed.
No, I'm not sure either. And I was conflicted because I didn't know. I mean, I couldn't wait to sit down and talk to you and get your thoughts on it because I was a little conflicted. I don't know if he did disrespect him or it was a lack of focus or he forgot what he was supposed to do or what's happening here. So I was kind of like torn in two different directions. But apparently you said no, he didn't disrespect him, but the audience felt differently. I don't know.
Well, Raw was terrible, so we already knew that. We're moving on to AEW Dark. This is our second show out of 4 that we're reviewing here. So usually they get the flow of the show down to a T, but the 11-match format really is overkill. The 11-match format is overkill. We did have some good matches on the show, and I'm glad that they're enhancing the records, as they should. But if we're looking at this in terms of length, it's way too long. Keep it to 6, 7 matches at most. No need for 9, 10, 11, 12 matches. Keep it to 6, 7 at most. And then once we get back to the regular era with the crowds and everything, thank you, Danielle. Once we get back to the regular era with the crowds and everything, then go back to 4 matches, go back to 5 matches, as it usually is on Dark. Thank you very much, Travis. You have a great day. So, AEW Dark. We had Kip Sabian versus Michael Nakazawa first. Kip Sabian won, as he should, with a swinging neck breaker off the top rope for the win. That was pretty much that. Do you want to comment on this? Where do you think Kip Sabian goes?
I like Kip Sabian, and I like his fiance. I really do. I like the two of them. I really do. I think they work well together as a team. I think Kip Sabian's on his way to big things. I really think so. I think in a couple of once he gets a couple of matches underneath though, I could see him going after the TNT Championship.
Yes.
I could see him go for that. I don't see him do anything else after that. I like the way he wrestles. I like what his style is in the ring. He moves correctly in the ring. He sells things excellently well. And he takes direction very well. So I don't have any problem with him at all with the match. Nakazawa, to be honest with you, he is absolutely funny.
I hate him.
You don't like him.
I can't stand him. All he can do is a spear. That's all he can do. I hate the Venom's tentacles thong thing.
The underwear, I'm not a fan of that.
I don't need to watch Michael Nakazawa oil himself up.
No, I don't need to see that either. I mean, it's entertaining to some people, but maybe not to others. But to each his own. I mean, hey, if that's what you like. But Kip Sabian, he's a good wrestler. I like him.
So moving on, we're moving on to Shawn Dean and Frank Stone versus Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela. Nothing really special here. A lot of these were enhancement matches. Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela, they win with the elbow drop and the split leg drop. I hate Sonny Kiss. Because the gimmick is way too overbearing. He's a decent wrestler, but the gimmick is way too overbearing. But this was pretty much an academic tag team match. I don't know where Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela are going. I'm not sure if they're going to get a tag team title opportunity. We could see that since Joey Janela did say they're coming for the gold. I wouldn't mind that, but Joey Janela, there's more value in him as a singles guy. What about you?
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. And but getting back to Sonny Kiss for a second, you have to understand something. That personality that he has, Sonny Kiss, matches his athleticism. So it has to go hand in hand.
It's a little too overbearing because I really don't want to watch a grown man work in the ring.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, that to me doesn't belong in
Yeah,
the
it does.
wrestling match. It doesn't belong in the wrestling match, and I think that they should curtail that. They should curb that a little bit. Um, I I like the athleticism that Sonny Kiss brings. I do like that. Joey Janela, as a single person, I think, yeah, he'd be good as a single person. But as a tag team, I could see them going for the tag team goal. I wouldn't mind it, actually. I wouldn't mind it. I think it would be a great boost to their tag team. They're winning their matches. They work together well as a cohesive team. And I don't have any problem with it. I do not have any problem with this match. I thought it was really good. It moved correctly. It flowed correctly. It was done correctly. So I don't have anything to say about it. See, this is what I'm talking about. The difference between AEW tag team and WWE tag team. AEW respects their tag teams, and the WWE does not. So this is the difference. This is why they call the alternative, because this is the great thing to watch on television when you see a tag team. They take the time and they build the storyline, and they give you the meat and the potatoes of the tag team. They don't just break them up. And I again, like I said, I give the match a thumbs up. I thought it was good.
So then we had Will Hobbs versus Shawn Spears. Very academic match, nothing special. Spears wins with the C4. I'm not sure where Shawn Spears goes. I'm assuming that they could be building him up for a TNT Championship match. Because he's on like an 8-match winning streak, so I would assume actual TNT Championship match at some point. You know what I mean, right?
Right.
So,
Exactly.
So where do you think he favors? Do you think Brody Lee wins the TNT title tonight?
Yeah, I think that Cody is going to run out of gas at this point. He's running out of gas, and you have to be an executive and a wrestler. That's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
When you are running a company like AEW and you're going against Tony Khan and you got to run the company, and then you're out there every week defending this team. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot to ask for in a person. So I think tonight is going to be the strong for Cody, and I think the TNT title is going to go to the Dark Order, and I just think that that's the correct move to do at this point. I'm not gonna knock it. I'm not gonna bash it or anything of that nature. I think it's the correct move because Cody can't keep burning two candles at both ends. He can't run the show behind the scenes and then run out there and do a wrestling match.
Very true.
It's just too much. It's just way too much. It's too much to ask for. Because your lack of focus is going to start spilling into the show. And you need detail-oriented people to be running a wrestling organization like AEW. You don't want to fall on your laurels and something is getting missed or something falls through the cracks. And his job is very important in the company. So with that being said, I think we're going to be looking at a new TNT championship tonight.
So does Shawn Spears factor into the TNT Championship title picture by 2021 or a little bit before then?
Well, we have full year coming up, so maybe that's a possibility. That could be a possibility. I could see him being in a number one contenders match, and he wins the match. And he's the number one contender for the TNT Championship, and he goes against Brody Lee for the title. I could see that. That would be a good match.
It's a possibility right there.
That would be.
So
yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah. So then we had a promo by Ricky Starks before we got into the next match. Ricky Starks, that's an excellent promo right here. He says to Darby Allin that you started a war with me that you cannot finish, and I don't have to be John Joseph or Judas to know that this is your last supper messing with Absolute Ricky Starks. Now, I thought that they were building towards Brian Cage versus Darby Allin at All Out, but after this, I wouldn't mind them doing Ricky Starks and Darby Allin at All Out. Ricky Starks, great promo. He's a very good wrestler as well. He was actually in action later on Dark. So what were your thoughts on this before we get into the next tag team match?
I thought this was a great segment. I thought it was a great build-up into the feud. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is how you build a feud. This is how you build a feud. You don't put the segments or anything mixed into the segment. You just go for the gusto, put your foot to the pedal, and you go forward. This is how you do things in wrestling. This is how you do things. Productivity, ladies and gentlemen. Productivity wins out all the time. Detail-oriented is always winning out in these segments. You have to be detail-oriented to do these kind of segments. And this was a great segment. This was great. This was brilliant. This was a great way to start a feud. You lit the fuse, you lit the fire. Let's see what happens. I loved it.
So, moving on, we had the Hybrid 2 part about AEW Dark. I've actually been loving the underdog storyline between Peter Avalon and Brandon Cutler. The Hybrid 2, they're great as per usual. So we had the Hybrid 2 isolating Peter Avalon before we got the hot tag to Cutler. Cutler with a dive onto Angelico. Springboard forearm to Evans. Spinning side slam for a 2. We had a meteor by Avalon and then a springboard elbow. But Angelico broke up that. We had an assisted 450 on Cutler for 2. We had a moonsault off the top to the floor by Evans. Leva then took out Evans, and then Cutler with a gutbuster, and then a split-legged moonsault by Avalon. And I thought that was actually it right there, but Evans broke up that pinfall. Avalon got caught with the razor's edge into the buckle, and then we had a 630 by Evans for the win. This was probably the best match of the night. Very good tag team match right between the Hybrid 2 and the Initiative. Glad that the Hybrid 2 actually got a win. The Initiative, obviously, their time is not just yet. Obviously, they're going to get that victory sooner rather than later, but it's not going to be yet. So what were your thoughts on this tag team match before we get into the next match?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. This was great matchmaking tag team. Because they were two athletic teams and they were going against each other, and I love this match. I mean, I watched this match intently, and I think that both teams are going to go places. I think they're both going to go places. I really do. Let me ask you something. I want to pick your brain on something. Do you think that they will finally get their win on AEW Dark?
I don't know. I think it may be, but it could happen on Dynamite. You never know.
Right.
It's a possibility. See, that's what I love about AEW, because the unpredictability factor is high, but it's always a good unpredictability factor because they've built a good level of trust with their audience.
Right. And they listen to their audience.
Yes.
Which is different. Like I said, the Hybrid, I love them. I absolutely love the way they move in the ring, and they do well as a tag team.
Very well.
I could see them going for the tag team goals in the near future. I could see that with the crowd coming back and everything else. I can see them getting a tag team title match. I could see that. The Initiative, I want to see them get their first win. I really, because they have come so close on each occasion of getting that first win as a tag team. And I would like to see it. I would like to see either on Dark or on Dynamite. One of the two. I want to see it happen. I want to see it happen for them because they're a good tag team.
More likely than not, I assume it'll happen sooner rather than later. So Then we had Red Velvet versus Abaddon, and I'm gonna be honest right here. You take a look at every single women's wrestler that Abaddon has been in the ring with, and they've all been better than her. Abaddon, the gimmick is there, but she's a fucking terrible wrestler. Her offense is sloppy. It is uncoordinated. The best move that she can do is the Widow's Peak. Red Velvet here didn't even look half bad. Red Velvet actually put in some stiff chops, some stiff kicks, until Abaddon took over control with an arm wrencher on the apron, and then obviously we had the Widow's Peak for the win. The only reason why that they are... Thank you very much, Mex Alpha 96, for dropping me a like. The only reason why Abaddon even got signed was because of the gimmick and the gimmick alone. And I don't think anyone is going to be able to convince me of that. She is a terrible wrestler.
Let me ask you something. Is she worse than Nia Jax?
No, but she's still bad.
Okay.
But Red Velvet didn't look half bad here. I'm not sure what they're doing with Abaddon, but Abaddon's best match has been with Shida. And everyone looks when they're facing Shida because Shida is the best women's wrestler in AEW. She is their version of Asuka.
Right.
So, can't really do too much about that. So, do you want to talk about this, or do you want to go on to the next match?
I mean, I agree with everything you just said. I mean, she first of all, she's green around the ears, so she has to get coordinated. They have to work with her, and I hope that they do. And I hope that they do work with her, and I hope that they know and look back on the tapes and know how sloppy she can be. And the thing is that if they look at her tapes and somebody helps her in the women's division, helps her with her wrestling, I think that she can be forced to be reckoned with. Unfortunately, right now, she's a little green behind the ears. She has to get her sea legs, and we'll have to see what happens if she improves over the next couple of weeks and months.
Yes. So then we had the Dark Order and Colt Cabana versus D3, Ryzen, and Fabu Andre. This really wasn't anything special. I didn't give a shit. The storyline with Colt Cabana is pointless because it's really not resulting anything. Outside of Evil Uno, Stu Grayson, and Brody Lee, no one in the Dark Order is really going anywhere. I mean, we have some good wrestlers in the Dark Order, but outside of those three individuals, no one's really going anywhere. We had a double flipping DDT for the win, and that was pretty much it. So Dark Order and Colt Cabana win.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say about this match because I'm just kind of confused as to what Colt Cabana's role is in Dark Order. Is he a new member? Is he going to be the second in command to Brody Lee? Is he going to, because when they tell him to do some heelish tactic things, he's like lost. It's like he doesn't know what he's doing. It's just all over the place. And I don't know what his role is in Dark Order. I'm still confused. I mean, I wish somebody would tell me or help me define his role in the Dark Order. I mean, yeah, he's winning the matches. He's winning his matches and everything, but I don't know what his role is. I don't know what his characteristics is. I don't know what he's doing in Dark Order. I don't know. I'm lost. I don't know.
You've been lost, man. I mean, like, I don't know where they're going with it. We'll see what happens, but again, the storyline with Colt Cabana just seems pointless. So then we had Ricky Starks and Lee Johnson. Now, this was a decent little match. Nothing too special, but it was a decent little match. Lee Johnson, we already know that Ricky Starks, he's very good. He's coming around. He's very good on the microphone, very good in the ring. Lee Johnson, though, he's very underrated. Lee Johnson can wrestle when you give him the opportunity. So we had Starks mocking Darby Allin with a coffin drop. Obviously, I have a feeling that we're going to get Starks and Allin at All Out. We then had Lee Johnson with a huge lariat, big neck breaker and a kip up, springboard drop kick for a 2. Starks then came back with a sit-out dominator for the win. And Starks wins a decent little match right here. I fully expect Starks to go into a feud with Allin going into All Out. How about you? What were your thoughts on this match?
I didn't have anything bad about the match. I think what he did earlier with the promo, I thought that was really good. The match itself was decent. I did not have any flaws. There was no flaws in it. It is what it is, and I don't have anything to say about it. I thought it was pretty good.
I would say so. So, we got over here. So we got Tony Donati versus Proud and Powerful. Nothing special right here. Another academic match. Proud and Powerful wins with the powerbomb roundhouse kick combo. I can definitely see Proud and Powerful getting a tag team title shot probably by the end of the year or the beginning of 2021. What are your thoughts on Proud and Powerful right now?
Santana and Ortiz, I love them. I love Santana and Ortiz. I really do. I love what they can do together in the ring. I really do. But please, I am like a staunch advocate for these two. And I want to see them get a title match. I really hope that AEW does not overlook these two because they need a title match. I don't care whether it's on Dynamite, Dark, a pay-per-view, or what. They have to get a tag team title match. They have to. Even if you wait for the full crowd to come back or whatever, I don't care. I want to see them get a tag team title match. I want to see it. I want to see it desperately because these are good guys. They're tag team. They work well together in the ring. Their heelish tactics are great. They move correctly in the ring. They do everything that they're supposed to do. This is what a tag team's supposed to be like. This is the way you treat tag teams. This is how you do it. And if you guys want to see some good tag team, you really should have seen the Dynamite episode of the Tag Team Appreciation Night.
Yes.
That was some good episode. That was a great episode. If you want to see some good tag team, watch that episode. I guarantee you you're going to be entertained. I guarantee you. Because it was full metal to the pedal the whole night. It was great.
Very true.
Santana and Ortiz, I absolutely love them. And I'm a fan of them. And I wish them well in the tag team journey, and I hope that they get a title match.
So then we have Lance Archer and Jesse Sorensen versus Jesse Sorensen and John Cruz. This is supposed to be a 2-on-1 handicap match. So Jesse Sorensen came out without his partner. Now this has probably become one of my favorite parts about AEW, and it's probably the most unintentionally funny thing. Lance Archer just beats the shit out of random people. So he came out carrying John Cruz, threw him into the ring. He beat down both men, and then he gave both men the EBE claw for the win. Lance Archer wins. I could literally just watch Lance Archer beat up a bunch of unknowns for like 2 hours. I find it hilarious. So what were your thoughts on this?
I agree with you on the wavelength of the segment. There was really not much for me to critique about this because this was just dominated. Lance Archer is something to be reckoned with, and he's something. He's something else. I could see him going for a world title match. I could see that happening.
Not now, though. I do think.
Not now.
Yeah, I do think that Moxley is going to fight Lance after All Out, but without the championship.
Yeah, I can see him going for the championship. I could really see that. I don't know when it's going to happen, when they're going to grant it, but I would love to see it.
Very true.
I really hope and pray I see it.
So then we had Billy Gunn versus Allen 5 Angels. Nothing special here. Gunn wins with the sleeper slam. Then we had Silver and Reynolds attack, but Austin Gunn came out with a chair. I'm assuming that that's going to set up Silver and Reynolds versus the Gunn Club next week on Dynamite, and we're going to get that match on Dark. So that way, the Gunn Club will probably get a tag team title match since they're like 0-4 at this rate. It makes sense. I assume that's where we're headed. But what were your thoughts on this before we get to the main event of Dark?
Again, another good match. I like Billy Gunn and his son. I think they're very entertaining. I don't have anything to say. It kept you entertained. It wasn't long and drawn out. There's really nothing for me to say, but it was decent.
So, then in the main event, we had SCU and Private Party versus the Lucha Bros, the Butcher and the Blade. This was a fun tag team match for what it was. This was probably one of the highlights that you could really go back and watch when it comes to AEW Dark. So we had Isaiah Cassidy was isolated before Quinn got the hot tag. Quinn with a pop-up dropkick to Phoenix. Spike DDT. Kazarian then dropped Pentagon. The Blade came in. Daniels with an exploder. Spin kick by Phoenix. Enziguri by Quinn. All men were down. Then we had full death on Daniels by the Butcher and the Blade for the win. And that was it. Obviously, this was leading into the match at Dynamite tonight, which is the Natural Nightmares and Jurassic Express versus the Butcher, the Blade, and the Lucha Bros. So, what were your thoughts on this before we get into NXT?
I thought that the main event was superb. And I use the word superb. I use it a lot. But this was really good. I like Private Party has improved in their wrestling ever since they came back from the pandemic. They were a little sloppy in the beginning, but they improved on that, which was good. SCU, I like them too. I could see them going for a tag team title match in the near future. The Lucha Bros, what can you say about the Lucha Bros? How good are they? How good are they in a tag team match?
Ray Phoenix, man. Ray Phoenix.
Let me tell you something. Again, I'm going to say this because I did say this on DJ Storm's one of his shows. I did say this. I'm going to say this again. If you want to see a really good tag team match, I urge you and I applaud you to watch the Lucha Bros take on the Young Bucks in a ladder match. I am going to tell you, that was the best tag team match I have ever watched in my many years as a wrestling fan. This was off the chain. If you didn't see this match, I urge you, go on YouTube, look for it, watch it. You will be amazed at what these teams did to each other with the ladder and everything else. It was amazing, and the crowd was there. So, I mean, the Lucha Bros are great. I mean, the Butcher and the Blade is great too. They're all great. I don't have anything to say about this match. I mean, it was good. It was entertaining. It moved correctly. It was, the hot tags in and out was pretty good. I like the moves. I like the athleticism in it. I don't have anything to say. It was superb.
So, that was AEW Dark. Not too bad of a show, but they really need to tone it down as far as the matches go. Keep it to 6 or 7 for now. NXT, I would probably say it was the best show out of the 4 shows that we're reviewing. Fairly decent show here. Fairly decent go-home show. Getting us excited for TakeOver 30. That's tonight. We kicked off with Johnny Gargano versus Ridge Holland. Now, there was a report that went around that there was an injury done to Johnny, and it was indeed Ridge Holland's fault. Ridge Holland, he actually got a little bit overzealous. He got overzealous, and he came in too fast, slipped on the power slam, and dropped Gargano on his neck accidentally. So I would say that when it comes to Ridge Holland, you got to slow down. You got to tone it down a bit. And I would like to believe that in time, Ridge Holland will be where he needs to be. But right now, obviously, he's still developing. He's still coming along. He did well after the botch. We had that botch where Gargano landed on his neck. And Gargano's a beast for continuing. Holland with the modified power slam for a 2. Super kick by Gargano. Holland with a huge pounce, which looked great. Candice then grabbed Holland's leg. Gargano then kicked the rope into Holland's balls, lack of a better term. And then we had the one final beat for the win. So, good match to kick off NXT here. Physical, not too bad. Outside of that botch, Holland did well, but again, he needs to slow down. He needs to focus on the timing of his moves, for lack of a better term. I believe that is the main issue, the timing and the fluidity of the movesets that he has. But other than that, good match, nothing too special, but it was good. Gargano wins, and I was actually shocked that they were going to have Gargano win, because I originally thought that they were going to do Balor and Gargano at TakeOver 30, because they did tease that. Back at the Great American Bash, but apparently they're not following through with that. Apparently we're getting Finn Balor versus Timothy Thatcher at TakeOver 30, and I was actually expecting Finn Balor to win, because if Gargano won, then I expected Finn Balor to be in the match as well to pretty much spark up the continuation of that feud. But we got a good match to kick off NXT. What were your thoughts on
it? I agree with your assessment on the match. What you all didn't see in that match, they edited out of the match, and they did check on John Gargano. It was scary because he didn't move for a couple of seconds. And when I was watching the match, I said to myself, I said, "Oh my God, I hope he did not break his neck and paralyze him," because that reminded me of Duke the Droids of Dump Street.
Like Drozervic? Like Duke the Dumpster Drozy.
Yeah, Duke the Dumpster Drozy, yes. He had an accident in the ring, and he was paralyzed from the waist down, and he never wrestled again. That kind of like brought back to me that incident for Johnny Gargano. I was a little scared, as well as everybody that was on the headset calling the match. But he did recover. Slowly he recovered. He did sell it well, and he came back and he won the match. I don't have anything to say about this match, but it was good. And I agree with your assessment, DJ Storms, on him. He has to slow down. He has to be careful when he's picking up someone or powerbombing someone, because you don't want to hurt the person.
Yeah.
You know, you're trying to sell the move, but you're not trying to put them in a wheelchair either. So you have to be very careful how you land, how you put your foot, how you move, and how you sell it and everything else. So I agree with you in that assessment. But it was scary. It was scary watching it for me on television. I know everybody else was a little nervous, but I'm glad that he's okay, and I'm glad that he's going to be on the show tonight. The only thing is that I want to say for NXT 30 is that I'm a little disappointed in the build-up to it, because I mean, this is the 30th anniversary. This is the 30th anniversary of the TakeOver, and I would have expected more matches, more hype about it, more. It's just like it feels like a regular NXT show, as far as that is concerned. That's the only disappointment thing I'm disappointed in, the build. But other than that, I like the match, and I thought it was pretty good.
So then we had Dakota Kai versus Jessi Calynn. This wasn't special. Matter of fact, the main meat and potatoes, as you like to call it, the meat and potatoes actually happened after the match. So we had a go-to kick for the win. She took the mic. She said that Shirai must be out of her mind. She's so focused on the people of the past. But she promised to take the title off of her. Shirai then came out. A brawl broke out, and then Raquel Gonzalez came out to aid Dakota Kai. She attacked Shirai, one-armed powerbomb to Shirai as Kai and Gonzalez stood tall. I'm hoping that we do get a clean, straight-up one-on-one match, because Raquel Gonzalez is terrible. Matter of fact, she actually takes away from Dakota Kai. I was actually happy that Dakota Kai did not have Raquel Gonzalez over the course of the last few weeks. So I thought that they were actually making Dakota Kai a little bit more credible, if you know what I mean. But apparently now Raquel Gonzalez is back. I do expect Dakota Kai to put on a great match, though. And I did say this on the rundown for TakeOver. Outside of matches with Tegan Knox, she doesn't really have those breakout performances where we're going to say, wow, Dakota Kai is one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. But I do expect her to bring her A game tonight, and I do expect her to put on a great one-on-one match with Io Shirai for the NXT Women's Championship. How about you?
Yeah, I agree with that assessment again. I like Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
I think she's a good wrestler. As far as Raquel Gonzalez is concerned, she reminds me of what's the name of that women's wrestler? I'm trying to think now. What's Mandy Rose's opponent?
Sonya Deville.
With Sonya Deville. That's what she reminds me of. She reminds me of Sonya Deville, with, that can't wrestle.
No, Sonya actually can wrestle. Sonya's fine.
Sonya can wrestle. I'm not saying that, but Raquel is just, the way she's built. She
too stiff.
Sonya Deville. Yeah.
She's like Braun Strowman.
Yeah, it's no fluidity in her movements. But I don't know. I hope that we can get a clean win here in this match. But I have a feeling that Raquel's going to interfere in this match. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a, but I mean, what else are you going to say about this? What else are you going to say?
I do expect Shirai to retain, though.
Yeah, I can see Shirai retaining. I don't know why we should strip her of the title now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no need for it. I really don't. But we'll have to see. But I expect them to have a good, decent match tonight. Good match. It was quick, but it was decent. It was okay.
So then we had Legado del Fantasma versus Breezango and Isaiah Swerve Scott. This was a very fun match for what it was, I would say. The only thing that I don't understand is, if you're building towards Swerve and Escobar, the Cruiserweight title, number one, why isn't it on TakeOver? And two, why is it that Legado del Fantasma is winning, even though Swerve wasn't pinned? Why not have Isaiah Swerve Scott get the pin on Raul Mendoza, so that way Santos Escobar doesn't have to take the pin, and then you could have actually built up towards Swerve and Escobar at a TakeOver. Swerve realistically is the perfect opponent for Santos Escobar, but Santos Escobar, he hasn't defended the Cruiserweight Championship once since he's won it. So it would make sense for him to defend it on a TakeOver, but we're not getting it on a TakeOver. I don't understand. So what were your thoughts? I mean, like, here's the thing. Here's the thing. It was a fun match. Brawl broke out between all six men to start off the quote-unquote match. We had nice back and forth between Swerve and Escobar. Escobar caught Swerve with a knee. Nice knee by Escobar, actually. Breeze got the tag. He came in after Swerve was taken out, and Escobar took advantage and hit the Phantom Driver for the win. Fun match, don't get me wrong. Very fun match. But it would have made more sense for Swerve to get the win over Raul Mendoza to build towards the match at TakeOver. I still don't know why this match isn't taking place at TakeOver tonight. So what were your thoughts on the match?
No, I agree with your brilliant assessment. I mean, what else am I gonna say? What else am I gonna say about this match? What else am I gonna say? I agree with you in this. I don't understand why he's not defending the title on the TakeOver. I don't understand why there was no build towards it. I don't understand it. I don't get the logic behind it. I just don't.
It was a fun match, though.
Yeah, the match was fun. I enjoyed it. I mean, it had fluidity. It had continuity. It had entertainment value to it. So, I mean, there's nothing for me to say about the match. I mean, I don't have any gripes about it. I mean, it didn't last long, which was good. They kept entertaining the match, and they kept moving, and, El Fantasma got the juke, and that's it.
So we actually do have Legado del Fantasma in a number one contenders triple threat match between Oney Lorcan, Danny Burch themselves, and then Breezango. That's taking place this Sunday. That should actually be interesting. But then after that, we had Adam Cole and Pat McAfee coming face-to-face. So McAfee comes through the crowd. He said that he knows that Cole couldn't handle a human like moi at all by himself. So Cole then called off the Undisputed Era. and then Pat McAfee backed down his posse. So McAfee took the microphone. He said that he outsmarted Cole in his own house. McAfee said that he had everyone floored. He said, one swing of this foot to knock your ass out, and he better hope that he doesn't stick around and make this his profession, because he said that you'll cider, him meaning Adam Cole. Cole then dropped the security. The football players came up, Undisputed Era stepped up, Adam Cole stood face to face with McAfee, and he said, I'm gonna make you my bitch. And that was that. Now, I said it before, this match should not be happening. It goes against everything that NXT stands for. But the promo itself, I will say, was excellent. They did a very good job at building the entire aspect of the storyline between Pat McAfee and Adam Cole. So I will give them credit there. This was a great promo by Pat McAfee. Still shouldn't be happening, and I genuinely hope they don't fail. I genuinely hope Pat McAfee and Adam Cole put on a good match, but regardless, the match should not be happening tonight. What were your thoughts on this promo?
Well, very well done. You know, let me just backtrack a little bit, because when I saw the clip of when Adam Cole was on Pat McAfee's show and he threw the drink in his face and everything, I thought that it was scripted, the show.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't think it was something serious like that. Like he would be upset with it and everything. I just thought it was part of the segment, and he was just going to go marching outside and throw the drink in it. I did not know that this was what they were building up to. I did not know that. I was fooled by that, and I just thought that that's what it was, and that was going to be the end of it. But this was going to be a match tonight. I don't know. I think that McAfee's out of his league. When he's going to, I don't know. Is he really thinking in his mind that he's going to beat Adam Cole? I mean, do you think that in your infinite wisdom, you're going to beat Adam Cole with the Undisputed Era in his corner? I mean,
you won't.
I don't know what you're thinking there or what your thought process is. But I don't think NXT wants to see Adam Cole get a loss to Pat McAfee.
He won't.
I mean, it would be an embarrassment to the NXT brand for this outsider, this broadcaster, to come in there and beat Adam Cole. I mean, that would be an embarrassment to the Black and Gold brand. As far as this segment is concerned, I thought it was pretty good. Great heat. Great push towards these two having a match, and I really don't have anything to say. The segment was good.
So then we had a tag team match between Mercedes Martinez, Aaliyah, and then Rhea Ripley and Shotzi Blackheart. So Martinez, she isolated Shotzi before Ripley got the tag. Basement drop kick and a forward electric chair drop. Martinez then broke up the pin. We had Ripley sending Martinez over the barricade with a powerbomb to the concrete. And then we had Shotzi with a senton on Aaliyah for the win. Decent match right here. I would assume that this is building up either Rhea or Shotzi or Aaliyah and Mercedes Martinez towards a matchup for the women's tag team titles. I would assume that this is also building towards Rhea Ripley versus Mercedes Martinez, because Martinez was not pinned. And I'm glad she was not pinned. I'm happy she wasn't pinned. And I do expect her and Ripley to put on a damn good match when we do get to that point. Decent match, nothing really too special, nothing really to say about it. Ripley and Shotzi get the win by Shotzi pinning Aaliyah. Martinez was not pinned. I'm happy about that. I'm very interested to see what they do with Rhea and Martinez. And that was pretty much that. And do you have anything to say before we get to the main event? And then we're going to talk about SmackDown and the failure that was the Thunderdome.
I did not have any problem with this match. The only problem I have was with Rhea Ripley. And the problem that I have is that she should be still the women's champion.
Yes.
that's the only issue that I have with it. I think that they took the title off of her too soon.
Oh, absolutely.
And Charlotte should have never, ever, 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 ever have been the women's champion in NXT.
Very true.
That was a very poor mistake on their part.
Very, very true.
I don't want to see Rhea Ripley being watered down or being held down in the lower and the mid card, because she deserves to go back on the top of the mountain, and she deserves that women's championship match back. And I think she deserves a rematch.
More likely than not, I believe that's where they're headed at some point. I do believe that we're going to get Rhea and Io at some point, one-on-one.
I would love to see that. Somewhere in the next TakeOver, you give Rhea Ripley her right dessert. I did not have any problems with this match. I thought it was pretty good. The ladies worked very hard to entertain the audience, and they did a good job.
So the main event, Finn Balor versus the Velveteen Dream. This wasn't bad, but it was overly produced, overbooked. It was really all over the place, if we're going to be quite honest here. Dream was in control before Balor came back. He wore down Dream. Balor targeted the left leg of Dream that was injured. Cameron Grimes then came out mid-match to watch, and he was holding the North American title on top of the ladder. So Balor, like an idiot, took his eyes off Dream to focus on Cameron Grimes. Dream took over. Balor, he was on the receiving end of a Dream Balor driver after we had what do we have? We had Bronson Reed coming out, we had Gargano coming out, we had Damian Priest coming out, and the ref got knocked down, and everyone was in the ring, and Damian Priest and Bronson Reed, they took out Gargano, Priest then took out Reed, Balor then took out Priest, and they were on the outside, Balor with a tope con hero over the top, but then out of nowhere, Timothy Thatcher came in. He took out Balor, Dream with the Dream Valley driver, and a purple Rainmaker, and Dream wins. Overbooked as fuck was this match, and then everyone took out everyone with Bronson Reed standing tall in the end. Obviously, they're still high on the Velveteen Dream. Triple H did say that these allegations toward the Velveteen Dream were false, and there has been no recollection of anything. As far as police records, no one coming out in a statement saying that these were false or this was true. So based on that, I would like to assume that what was done was the simple fact that they didn't find anything, so nothing was really made public. And I didn't really think they were going to make something like this public anyway, because quite frankly, it's none of our business. So this was completely overbooked. The Dream's going to TakeOver. Finn Balor's facing off against Timothy Thatcher. That should be a great match in its own right. Interesting to see who wins the North American Championship ladder match. I do expect Damian Priest to win the match, if you want my honest take on that. What were your thoughts on this before we talk about SmackDown, which is the last show we're going to talk about, and then we're going to be getting out of here in a little bit.
Again, like I said before, and I say it again, the match, like you said, was overbooked. There was too many chickens in the soup. It was all over the place. It was I couldn't make heads or tails. Like, what's going on here? Like, what is going on the ladder? The referee gets knocked down. We had a free for all. We had all of this going on. I mean, at the end of the day, when the smoke was cleared, yeah, Velveteen Dream is in the ladder match. I mean, there was nothing really to say about this match. I mean, it is what it is, and that's the way they wanted to book it. But I just thought it was a mess.
Well, I can only hope that TakeOver 30 itself will be a lot better.
Yes.
So, that was NXT. Decent show. SmackDown, however, was horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Outside of one segment, which we'll go over. So, Vince McMahon kicked off the show. Talked about the Thunderdome. And if you took a shot of whiskey every single time they said Thunderdome, I'm telling you right now, you would have been in the hospital with alcohol poisoning. How many times did they say Thunderdome during the show? So, we had...
58 times.
What?
58 times.
You did you count?
Yes, I did.
They said it 58 times.
Yes.
Jesus. That's got to be a record. So, the Fiend interrupted. And he slowly walked up to Vince. Vince tried to step away until Strowman came out. They stood face to face, and out of nowhere, Nexus Light, aka Retribution, they came out. So, Retribution then surrounded the ring. The Fiend waved goodbye, and he disappeared. The locker room then came out to run off Retribution, and then Strowman attacked Gulak and Jay going into commercial, and that was pretty much that. So now, you're trying, now, let me tell you something, the feud between Strowman and Wyatt has been terrible, but now you're trying to tell me that Retribution's more important than the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship? Really? Yeah, I'm telling you. Danielle just said she'd be passed out if she drank 58 times. Of course, everyone would be. Everyone would be. The feud is terrible, but you're telling me that Retribution's more important than the Universal Championship. Terrible. Now, I will say this. I will say that the visual, the setup for the Thunderdome looks great, and the graphics and the visuals all across the screens when we have someone making their entrance, that is great. That I will say looks great. That I will say looks really, really good. That looks really, really good. But that still doesn't change the fact. That the piped-in crowd noises absolutely suck. Piped-in crowd noises sound fake as hell. What's going on? Hey, Alan Honland. Hey, I know you're late, but hey, better late than never, man. Hit that thumbs up. Me and Earl Cole, we're doing some great stuff over here. So the piped-in crowd noises are fucking horrendous. They're fucking horrendous, and you have all of these virtual fans, but yet we don't get actual sound and we get fake crowd noises. What's the point of having virtual fans if you're not going to give us sound? See, this is what...
They were not allowed to make any noise or anything. They're just there to be appeared on the screen. That's the rules of the... You're not allowed to do anything on the screen. So
it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Yeah. Okay, so here's something that I'm going to ask for you. Should I sign up for Thunderdome sometime in the future? Should I appear on the Thunderdome?
I think for historic fashion, I think yes, you should.
I'm gonna do it.
Because I think for fans who want to make history. Now I tried to sign up many times, and of course I got shut out because it was sold out. But I think that you try it. I think everyone should try. I think you should try it once. Try it until you can get signed up and get on the screen. Now there are rules to the Thunderdome that everyone needs to understand. First of all, you can't appear on camera long. You can't leave the spot where you're broadcasting from. It can't be blank, because if it's blank, they will remove your link and they will shut you down and they will fill it in with someone else. So you can't leave the segment area. You can't leave where you're broadcasting from.
Do you have to pay for it?
No.
Okay.
You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to pay for it. The link. They tell you exactly what to do. You're not allowed to. There's no as you're watching the matches. You're not allowed to clap or scream. Or the only thing is, I'm going to tell everybody: don't wear another organization's T-shirt on the
yeah, I know, because it's the WWE. What else is new?
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, you get cut off, and you're going to be done. Other than that, other than those rules, I mean, you're just there virtually. You're there. You're in one of the seats, and you're watching the match, and That's it. You're just sitting there and watching it. I didn't see anything. I didn't have any problem with the Thunderdome. The only problem that I had was, like you said, the crowd noise. I think you're trying to filter that in with the dead screens and everything else. It doesn't look good. It don't look correct. I think what you should do is that you should have the fans. Make noise.
Just gotta plug this in right here. Make sure the phone I'm broadcasting on. Make sure that's still running well. There we go. So continue what you were saying, or do you want to move on to the next match?
No. Like I said, that's the only problem I have with the Thunderdome. I thought aesthetically it looked good. The pyro did work. The everything that they did in the arena worked. I mean, to keep mentioning the Thunderdome 58 times, I thought that was a little too much. They could have just said the Amway Center in Orlando. I mean, they could have said that, but they didn't. They didn't bother with that. They kept saying the Thunderdome, the Thunderdome, the Thunderdome, the Thunderdome, the Thunderdome. I mean, it was just, I just thought it was too much. It was overkill.
So we had Big E versus Sheamus. I really just could not get into this match because of how bad the fake crowd noises were. And it wasn't even that bad of a match. It wasn't even a bad match, but I just couldn't get into it because of these shitty fake crowd noises. It sounded ridiculous. So we had an Irish Curse backbreaker for a 2. Big E came back with a big splash, a Uranagi for a 2, white noise by Sheamus, and then Corbin and Riddle, they start fighting. A big fight broke out. Sheamus, like an idiot, got distracted when no one was even in the ring, and Big E rolled him up for the win, and that was pretty much that. So Big E is continuing his win streak. Big E is continuing his... Not Vicky Danielle. I said Big E, as in Big E, the letter E. But, I'm glad that Big E's getting a singles push, but he needs to get rid of this New Day character if he really wants to be taken seriously as a singles guy. I don't know what they're doing with him now. I assume that they're probably building him up for a Universal title match, probably against The Fiend. I still don't understand why he wasn't AJ Styles' opponent at SummerSlam for the Intercontinental title. And I don't even understand why AJ Styles lost the Intercontinental title, which we'll get into. But what were your thoughts on this match before we move into the tag team title match?
I like the match. I wasn't distracted by the noise of the crowd. I wasn't distracted. I was more focused on the match. And I blocked everything else out. I muted the TV. And I put the TV on mute to just kind of concentrate on the match. That's what I do sometimes with a wrestling match. I thought the match was pretty good. I thought it was okay. It was decent for what it was. It was okay.
Cesaro and Shinsuke, they defended the tag team titles against the Lucha House Party. See, here's something that I want to know. Why wasn't this matchup on SummerSlam or Payback? That's what I want to know, because you have these two teams. Now, Lucha House Party, they should not be getting a tag team title match regardless. But here's what I don't understand. I don't understand why you're putting this match on a random episode of SmackDown and you're only giving them 6 minutes. Meanwhile, you could have given them 15 minutes on SummerSlam or Payback. Because what they were doing was actually fairly decent, and you barely even give them an opportunity to showcase what they can really do, and you have them rush the match in 6 minutes. That's what I don't understand. So, Dorado got the hot tag. Dorado came in with a super kick. Triple moonsaults, but Cesaro broke it up. Metalik came in. He took out Cesaro. Golden rewind by Dorado. Cesaro then made the tag. Roll through leverage pin for the win. And Cesaro and Shinsuke retained the titles. Semi-decent match, but it would have been great if you had actually given these two teams time. You could have given them time on SummerSlam or Payback. I would have personally done Payback to actually hype up that show. Now, as far as what happened after the match goes, Kalisto looks in great shape, and if you wanna put him in a singles role, I actually don't mind that whatsoever. I think Kalisto would fare very well in a singles role, especially since they need a mid-card on SmackDown because their mid-card scene and main event scene absolutely sucks. But this match, it would have been great. It would have been great if you had actually given these teams time. What about you?
Okay, originally this match was supposed to be on the SummerSlam card. Unfortunately, they had to cut it. And they had to move it somewhere. I'm not sure why they didn't do it as a pre-show match, but in any event, it was moved to SmackDown. This was, again, this was pretty decent. I didn't have any problems with the match. I'm not going to knock the match. I'm not going to say it was a classic or anything like that. This was decent for what it was. I knew Kalisto and the Lucha House Party were not going to win this match. They were not going to win the tag team title. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was okay. It was decent.
So, do you think that this is going to lead to a breakup between all three of them, or just Kalisto splitting out?
I think at some point the three of them are going to have to break up eventually, because I think there's a lot of tension here, and there's a lot of egoism going on there within that tag team. And I think eventually they're going to have to say sayonara to that Lucha House Party. I think they're going to have to go their separate ways.
So, if I was booking this, I would more likely not. I would just have Kalisto split, and I would focus on having Lince Dorado and Gran Metalik in the tag team division, since they do need tag teams. They do need tag teams. So
yeah, well, I do agree with that. I do agree with that. But the way they made the aftermatch like that, it made it seem like they wanted to break the three of them up like that. That's what it seemed to me. But again, I could be wrong. I mean, I could be totally off base on that. I could see one of them saying, I quit the group, or I can see two of them saying, well, we're together and we're going to be done with you. I can see them. There's so many possibilities that you can do.
It's an interesting scenario, but we'll see how that plays out. But then we had Banks and Bayley being interviewed, and they were talking to Corey Graves. And we had the normal Corey Graves route, trying to create tension between Sasha Banks and Bayley, blah, 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 blah. So Naomi then came out, and they really got to stop scripting individuals, because the people who are scripting these promos make the wrestlers sound stupid as fuck. And I mean that wholeheartedly. So there was a beat the clock challenge here between Bayley, Naomi, and Sasha. So Sasha tapped out Naomi in 3 minutes and 39 seconds. And then Bayley and Naomi started. Naomi won with the rear view. Sasha was smiling because now she doesn't have to face Asuka first. And then we had Asuka coming out, said that she'll be the Empress of every title, and then she took out both Sasha and Bayley. Yet another waste of time. Bayley loses again. Some champion that you got there. Bayley loses again on television. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Naomi. I'm assuming that they're probably going to do Naomi and Bayley at Payback, since Naomi pinned the SmackDown Live Women's Champion. So automatically that makes you the number one contender. What were your thoughts on this? I really don't know what else to say.
I don't have any comment on this. I really don't. I don't have any comment. I just don't. I'm just speechless at how these segments go with these women. Reminded me of Ronda Rousey and how she used to cut promos, and how it was written for her.
Damn the man and screw the woo.
This was, yeah, damn the man, screw the woo. And, again, like I said, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing with these women? What are you doing? I don't have any comment on this match. I really don't. I mean, to have Bayley lose again at the Monday night and no build up to the champion, no make her look strong. It's just pathetic. It really is pathetic.
I don't really know what's going to happen. I do expect Bayley to retain, but I did say that Sasha's probably going to lose her title. We'll see what happens there. But now what happened next was actually a very good promo by Sonya Deville. So Sonya came out to address Mandy, and I said that the hair versus hair match was outdated. They must be listening to me. I'm telling you, they're listening to me. And they changed the stipulation. So now it's a no DQ match, and the loser leaves WWE for good. So they're listening to me. Someone in WWE is listening to me. So no more hair versus hair, thank God. No DQ, and loser leaves WWE. And she told Mandy Rose to wipe those tears and bring her A game, bitch. I thought this was a very good promo. Sonya Deville is doing some of the best work of her life right now in the WWE. So, what were your thoughts on this promo?
I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. I'm glad that they went in another direction for this match. Hair, like Mandy said, she don't care. I mean, like Sonya said in the segment, she didn't care if she was bald. She didn't care about that. She wanted to get her hands on Mandy Rose, and that was her main objective. So, I mean, to add the stipulation to the match, I mean, this was brilliant. This was brilliant. So the loser has to leave WWE for good. It's a fitting way to end this rivalry, to end this feud, to put it to bed, and one of them is going to leave. One of them is going to leave. It's either Mandy or Sonya. One of them's going to leave. And that's the intriguing part. You don't know which way the pendulum is going to swing. You don't know which way. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be interesting.
Very much so. Very much so. So, we had Nikki Cross being interviewed. Don't worry, people. We're almost done here. We had Nikki Cross being interviewed, and she said that Bliss seemed off. She said that Alexa is not who she once was. So something's off. Something terrible is about to happen. Now does Alexa factor into the Universal title match, which is apparently now a Falls Count Anywhere match?
That's a great question. Is she going to interfere in the Fiend match? I hope not. I want to see a good, clean match. I don't want to see all these interference because it just takes away from the match. It just ruins it. I mean, if she's going to interfere in any part, maybe help or something. But I mean, if you got, just don't come out during the whole, the entire match. I don't want to see that.
True.
I don't want to see that. I really don't, because it'll just sour everything. I think that the segment was okay. I think it was okay. I think it was decent. I thought it was decent. I really thought it was decent. I did not have a problem with the segment. What else is there to say? I mean,
but we got a lot to say about AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy. Now, it was a decent match, but here's what I want to know. Styles and Jeff Hardy. Styles injured Jeff Hardy before their match. So that was the story of the match. And they told a decent story. They gave us a decent match. But I want to know, if Jeff Hardy was supposed to be the guy to take the title off of Styles, why didn't you continue to build him up over the course of the next few weeks and months, and then take it off of him after Styles had a legitimate, lengthy reign as the champion? So, AJ Styles, you have him as Intercontinental Champion to make the title prestigious, right? How can Styles do that if, A, You don't even have him defend the title once on a pay-per-view. B, you don't even have him lose it on a pay-per-view. C, he doesn't even hold the title for more than 2 months. And D, he loses it to a less than 100% Jeff Hardy, knee brace or not. AJ Styles didn't even get his feet wet as the Intercontinental Champion. How is he supposed to make the title prestigious if he doesn't have a legitimate reign as the champion, and he doesn't even lose it on a pay-per-view? That's what I don't understand. If Jeff Hardy was supposed to be the guy, you should have waited to build him up over the course of the next few months. Styles should not have been holding that championship less than 100 days. I don't understand why Styles even lost the championship. And you know what? It honestly seems like they're doing this because they want to persuade Jeff Hardy to sign a new contract so that way he won't go join his brother in All Elite Wrestling. This is nothing more than a desperate attempt for ratings. And I actually just saw the SmackDown Live ratings. They were up. They're 2.1 million, which is actually quite sad that they couldn't even peak 2.5, even with the Thunderdome or the Failure Dome. Decent match, but how do you expect anyone to take the Intercontinental Championship seriously if Styles didn't even do much with it outside of a few title defenses on TV? He did not headline one pay-per-view as the champion. How does that make him look good? How does that make his reign as Intercontinental Champion look good? Why wasn't this match on SummerSlam? I don't fucking understand. What are you doing? What are you doing? Earl, what were your thoughts on this before we get to the main segment?
What are you doing? What are you doing? You know, I'm kind of thinking here. I know Jeff Hardy was the Intercontinental Championship a while ago. Didn't he have to relinquish the title at some point? The Intercontinental.
Jeff Hardy? No, he had to relinquish the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles with his brother Matt back in 2019.
Okay. Okay. Well, I don't know the thought process. I don't know the thought process behind it. I don't understand the thought process of giving him the Intercontinental Championship. I mean, you made Jeff Hardy win against Sheamus, build him up towards this Intercontinental Championship match. Then you mixed him in with AJ Styles, but there's really no build up to this match. I didn't see any build up to it. I didn't see the logic behind why would you want to put him into the title picture now. I didn't see the logic behind it. It didn't make any sense to me, match-wise, the whole thing. And then, like you said, AJ Styles didn't even have a year to keep the title. He didn't even have a decent run at it. It just made him win the title, take it off of him, and give it to Hardy. I mean, again, I don't like hot potato title changes. I really don't. I think it's a disservice to the title. I wasn't a fan of this. Okay, it was decent for what it was. Did it entertain you? Yes. Did you like the Thunderdome? The Thunderdome was trending worldwide? Yes. I mean, but the match itself, I don't know. I wasn't happy with it. I wasn't happy with the title change. I didn't think it made sense.
And then the main event, or the main segment rather, we had the Firefly Funhouse, and apparently they're going back to their old ways with Braun Strowman. He tossed Braun to the ambulance, and then he came out of the ambulance as the Fiend. And that was pretty much that. I didn't even want to say anything about the match. Not the match. The segment. The segment was lame. The segment was overdone. It was overproduced. I am just looking for them to get the damn fucking title off of Braun Strowman and put it on someone that is actually worth investing our time in Bray Wyatt, the Fiend. And I'm hoping to God that that's it. I'm hoping to God that that's it. I'm hoping to God that the Fiend wins. And that's it. That's it. SmackDown sucked. What were your thoughts on this before we wrap up?
I didn't kid myself at all. And like I said before, SmackDown, again, like I said, was decent. it was decent for what it was. It entertained you. It gave you the It produced what it produced. It gave you what it gave you, and that was it. I can't say anything wrong about it. I really don't. I mean, the last segment was not necessary. I think the Jeff Hardy match should have been it. They should have ended it right then and there. And that would have been it. I mean, that would have been the icing on the cake for the evening, and that would have been it. But to go the extra mile and try to give you a segment that didn't make any sense, I didn't understand it. You know, again, like what are you doing? You know,
that is the tagline of the show. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Again, like I said, and I say it again, and I say it again. I mean, you gotta know what you're doing and how you're making these decisions and how you're booking this and how it's gonna go down with the audience and how everything is going to pan out the way you wanted it to. Because so far it's not working. And you have to keep the audience entertained. You have to keep them where it is. So, but
that's it. That's all we can do. It's just a shrug of the shoulders at this rate. But ladies and gentlemen, we've been almost live for 3 hours. Wow. That wraps up the Lightning Flash update. That is the Lightning Flash update, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God. Wait. Jessi Calynn said she's going to be on Thunderdome for Raw on Monday. Oh my God. Well, we're going to be watching.
Good. That's his story. We're going to be watching Monday Night Raw. So tell us where you are. Tell us what screen you are on. Are you in the middle, in the back, in the front? We would like to know. Before we sail off into the sunset, I have to thank DJ Storms again for this collaboration. Your fans are stellar, as always, on YouTube. You are stellar. You are a rock star. I love your honesty. I love your brilliance. I'm always a fan of yours. You always have my support. You have me in your corner. And I enjoyed my doing you here in the Lightning Flash update. I hope this is not the last time I come on the Lightning Flash update. I hope that I'll be invited back in the near future. I hope that we will collaborate on something in the near future. I wish you the best of luck in school. I know everybody is struggling, and that's what we got to do in this world. We got to stay positive and enjoy all the wrestling that's coming up tonight. The NXT TakeOver, the Dynamite, the SummerSlam, Raw on Monday night. So, again, everyone, have a great weekend. Again, thank you to DJ Storm. Thank you to his posse members out there. Remember, as I said before, and I say it again, guys, join our DJ Posse page on Facebook. Please be a member of our DJ Posse page. Please enjoy it. And I had a good time here today. A near 3 hours, but it was fun. So again, thank you for allowing me to come on your platform and be with you here today.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of Lightning Flash Update. Thank you all who tuned in. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to put all the social media links in the description where you can follow me or I'll call you. You enjoy Dynamite, enjoy NXT TakeOver 30. I'll be back tomorrow with the rewind for NXT TakeOver 30. From Earl Cole, DJ Storms, this has been the Lightning Flash Update. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And we out.